And we are, at least I think we live. I think we live. Shout out to everybody in the building. Do appreciate everybody watching this show. We are joined by Hood Conservative. About to get into another one. Free Zone Lou said in the chat room, this is looking like another classic Saturday stream. We've certainly put together some classics on Saturday. We're going to try to do it again. Do it live and make it happen once again. A slight, well, not even a slight, a full blown nod to SKC for sort of facilitating this topic. Maybe the angle we're going with it may be a little different, but he definitely sent the source material. So shout out to SKC on this one. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Shout out to everybody in the building. I accidentally ended the intro a little too early. My bad on that one. But we about to get into this one. We are joined. Where is the goddamn hold up. All right, yeah, we are joined by Hood Conservative. In the building, going to be exploring this topic, when we're looking at the seemingly political divide. It normally gets more pronounced and more visible during election seasons between the political divide between black men and black women. Hood Conservative had an interesting theory. I'm going to let him lay it out. But first, before I let him lay it on out, let me acknowledge those that made comments already. Before I let him lay out his interesting theory or hypothesis that will set this show up. But Jordan Turner says, I want another crime bill too. Fix the pipeline. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. SKC says, No. No, that's not a. That's a. Okay, I think that's his loud. That's his laugh. I can't emulate that. But shout out to SKC. He says, pass me the coffee in there somewhere. Okay. All right. In the midst of his hysterical laugh, he said, pass me the coffee. Shout out to Computer Geek in the building. He says, salute the whole Hood Conservative gives his take on this. Of course, that's every Saturday. Shout out to Dolomite in the building. Says, sounds like the coon really was your friend trying to warn you niggas that sisterhood had a crime bill magic trick to pull on the Pookies. They was always sacrificial pawns. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. not the super chat, but thank you for the comment. Do appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to Free Zone Lou, Dolomite once again. Shout out to who else we got in here. Let me just we got to get right into it. We got to get right into it. The natives are restless, but I do got to acknowledge super chats real quick. SKC in the building. He says for the laughs that will undoubtedly enjoy over sort of laughs that I will undoubtedly enjoy over brunch. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate that. And Free Zone Lou in here with another super chat. He says another Saturday classic. And here we go. Yeah, that's a Joker from the Dark Knight reference. But all right. All right. Without further ado, gotta pass it to Hood Servative, who we spoke briefly in the back and it laid out an interesting hypothesis. I'll pass it over to Hood Servative. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Okay, well, welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for having me up, Bernard. Happy Saturday, blessings, peace, and love, and all that good stuff. So in the back, I was kind of just quickly theorizing something. And I like how Bernard had said he set this up. We're going to explore a topic because I don't have a lot of like hard what do you call it? I don't give proclamations about what people should do most of the time. I'm not the advice giver. I just sort of try to think about where things are going and what things mean and what is the meaning of this particular thing, right? So you have a brewing situation. We're looking at Chicago as a microcosm of the larger problem, but you have a brewing situation where this crime wave that we've been living under ever since the George Floyd Summer of Love, apparently it's been hitting Black women the hardest, and we're looking at Chicago as as sort of like like a canary in the coal mine. But this can probably be extrapolated and expanded to every other Black district or whatever. And what I think might happen in the future, I think about this in the context of the gender war right now between Black men and Black women. And I'm not sure how it would play out per se, but what I see happening is Black women will eventually give full-throated support to some kind of crime bill, and they will have a lot of media support and all kind. You're going to watch a piece we're going to kind of break down in a second, but they will have a lot of media support and backup to push their crime bill and to say that we are the long-suffering victims of these Black men, and therefore, fuck them niggas on the internet. Don't listen to what they talking about. Now, I could be wrong, but it's interesting to think about how this could play out, because war isn't always a direct one-for-one kinetic type of conflict. There is a asymmetric kind of warfare. And the gender war in particular has been a very asymmetric thing, right? Like when we talk about this whole thing of negotiations and coming back to a table, we never sat down at a table. We never negotiated to get into this position, right? It was all done asymmetrically. It was never done like head up, really. And so
Hold on, wait, explain what that means. It was done asymmetrically.
What men, what group of men actually sat down and said, we want women to have rights? Actually, the way it kind of worked is that men in positions of power said it would be better for us if women had rights. But broadly speaking, the average man who had a wife and a child and a family to raise, he was like, what the hell's going on here? I didn't vote for this shit. I didn't sign up for this shit. This is not how my daddy told me it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I mean. It's not something that we all voted for. This is something that happened asymmetrically. It wasn't done, like a mass movement. Like all the men just was like, you know what? It would be great if we gave women the right to be hoes. Like that's not what happened. It was a whole different type of thing. And anyway, so my point was that considering the asymmetric possibilities in this conflict, yeah, it would totally be, it would seem feasible that Black women can have like this giant media campaign to paint themselves accurately as the victims of black men all over again, and therefore take some of the steam out of the whole black male discontentment online movement.
Mm. So, in a roundabout way, a chess move to basically get niggas to shut the hell up online. They're going to start, and y'all going to see where he's coming from when we play the clip. You're going to see where he's coming from where he play the clip. That the tactic more or less, it does amount to ultimately pushing for a crime bill. We're going to play a video where they want to talk about black female victimhood in Chicago. And we'll be remiss if we didn't throw out there that the famous Joe Biden 94 crime bill, black people were initially in favor of that. They wanted something done about crime in their communities. They didn't know that meant that, people was going to be getting locked up over nickel bags or and shit, So at the end of the day, black people do want to do something about the crime in the community, and crime bills and things to crack down on crime. We come back to this all the time, and I haven't heard a decent response. So even the black male, black female dynamic out of it, I haven't heard a decent response to the notion that, okay, you want crime to stop, but you don't want over policing. That automatically puts us in a catch-22. But we're about to
really quickly though, that is a great tactic that the left has been employing since like forever, like going all the way back to like the 1900s and black people's first association with like Marxism and leftism and whatever. Essentially, you look for legitimate grievances, legitimate events that may in fact be as bad as you need it to be, and if not, you hype it up to make it worse than it is. But you look for a legitimate grievance, and then you essentially apply your illegitimate solution to a legitimate grievance, and that's how the march of leftism works.
Interesting. But all right, let's get into this. Let me know at any moment where you want it paused. Let's go.
Today, we are embarking on a journey investigating injustice in Chicago. The goal is to make the city safer for everyone, but especially for those most impacted by crime.
CBS 2 investigator Dorothy Tucker spotlights a troubling pattern that's been ignored for years, and Dorothy joins us now live.
Well, Jim and Marie, we uncovered some unique facts and figures that revealed for the first time the truth about who criminals are really targeting. It's people who look like me. Our investigation exposes the causes and consequences of black women.
Hold on. Right away.
Not even stepped away for a minute. Go ahead.
And this is why SKC and I, we laugh at the same type of shit, I guess. People who look like me. Oh, God. Aren't you sick of that phrase? I want somebody who looks like me in this role. I want somebody who looks like me on screen. All right, well, turn on the news. There you go. People who look like you.
Yeah, it's a childlike way of describing things. Someone who looks like me. I get annoyed by it. I probably don't laugh as loud as y'all, but I'm annoyed by the shit. So yeah, no, I get it.
It's people who look like me. Our investigation exposes the causes and consequences of black women at risk.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Reports of multiple people shot on the city's west side.
It's all we think about.
Multiple suspects walked up to the victim.
Hold on. No, we're going to stop this a lot, but it's not a super long clip. But here's the thing. There was a meme going around. Not even a meme. There was this type of, it was kind of a meme going around. Years ago, when I first was getting into this red pill stuff, there was something, I guess, I think it was, what was that guy, A Voice for Men? He's like a OG men's rights advocate. Paul Elon. I think it was from him, but basically I was reading something from him, and he was saying how like anytime there's a crisis on the news where a bunch of people are died, it'll be like such and such casualties 18 women are dead. And it's like, so the men don't even really get a specific mention, but 18 women are dead. And then the meme goes, there's a clip of Hillary Clinton talking about war, and she's like, everyone knows women are the biggest casualties of war. And I'm like, in Chicago, if they're talking about like 25 people got shot, it's like 20 of them were guys, but let's feel bad for the 5 women. That's what this video is doing that right now. Chicago crime is mostly niggas killing niggas, but women are the most affected.
Mm-hmm.
When niggas kill niggas, black women are the most affected, apparently. The meme is a real thing. It's so weird. Memes come to life all the time now.
No, that's facts. Like that was like right before you said pause, I was going to pause. Because there are some legitimate things that women are victims of more than men. If you're trying, don't start with homicide. It's just like, that's the thing. You don't. That's where it just gets goofy to even start with homicide. Like she did that, and we know how that works. And the only parallel I could draw, and I hate to draw this parallel, is that a bunch of black teenage or around teenage age kids or young adults could get shot all the time in Chicago. Then some white teenagers get shot at a school, and it's a national day of mourning because 4 or 5 white kids got shot at a school, but that's called Friday night in Chicago. It's called Tuesday night in Chicago, and that happens. So, but it's like, yeah, so it's the same. It's the same thing with women. It's the same thing with women. It's like she's talking about homicide in Chicago, and again, the exact stats aren't at the tip of my hand, aren't in the palm of my hand.
Did you ever hear Patrice? You ever hear Patrice O'Neal in the white baby joke?
No.
Basically, Patrice O'Neal I miss this guy so much. He was basically saying that he was on stage. This is part of his routine. He was saying how like he got a foolproof method to keep himself safe. Just keeps a white baby with him everywhere he goes. Keep a little white baby with him, because if anything happens to him, they're gonna come find that white baby. And so it's kind of like, and then he used like the Natalie Hallway thing as a joke. They was like, a bunch of girls go missing every day. Nobody know who the fuck those bitches are. Some little dark skinned Mexican named Esmeralda just got missing, and nobody knows. But you know who Natalie Hallway was, right? And it is a real kind of weird double standard that we're guilty of on all different levels.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but all right, let's get in it.
Handing his car.
Our biggest fear.
Breaking tonight, 4 teens, 3 15-year-olds and 1 16-year-old, all shot while on a front porch.
Being the next victim of a crime.
The men stumbled down the Chinatown platform.
Wait, hold on.
Teens, 3 15-year-olds and 1
car. Our biggest fear.
Breaking tonight, 4 teens, 3 15-year-olds and 1 16-year-old, all shot while on a front porch.
Being the next.
Those were more than likely guys. It's like that's the fallaciousness of this. All right, let's move on. And they said 4 teens, 3 15-year-olds, 1 16-year-old. Those were more than likely boys, black boys. It's like, but this is talking about women being hit hard by crime. It's like, okay.
Victim of a crime.
The man stumbled down the Chinatown platform, bleeding from his neck from a gunshot wound.
But what are your chances?
We're not just talking about 1 or 2 robberies here. We're talking dozens of them.
Who's really the most at risk? Is it white men, white women, Asians, Hispanics, black men? No, it's not. It's women who look like Tonia Thomas.
It's scary.
According to Chicago police crime data for 2022, when you look at all the offenses, count all the victims, black women are the most at risk. Count all the victims.
Are you not counting the men? Like, do the men don't even count? What the fuck? Like, we don't even get a number? We don't even register? When you count all the victims, hold up. I thought you were counting all the victims. How if you count all the victims, the women are the most affected? Like, I'm getting upset. Let me stop. Let me stay in character. How you counting all the victims, but you only see the women?
what's false about what they're doing is that they got homicide on there. It's like, we know that that's not true. It's, you know, he said when you count all this crime, it's, they shouldn't put homicide up there. It's like you just flat out shouldn't. To do that is to be disingenuous, and it's clearly you're trying to sell a narrative. I mean, there's certain things, okay, sexual assault, we get it. Like that's something that happens to women more. Kidnapping, you know, that there are certain things. There's certain things that happen to women.
I would challenge even that. I don't know who it happens to more, but I would challenge, if you include incidents of child sexual abuse, I don't know if you can say that men just don't measure up to the women. Like I don't know. And then let's not even talk about the prison system. Like that's a whole ball of wax that throws the whole count out of whack. So I don't even trust those numbers. But believe all women.
And the assault. Okay, let's just go with assault. They took sexual out of it. Just assault by itself. We know men fight and attack men more than they fight and attack women. Now, domestic, between two people living in the same house or in an interpersonal relationship, that may be different, even though I've pulled out the data on that to show that a lot of the stuff that they say about that is propaganda, because women are quite often striking first in those situations. But if we're just talking about assault, taking domestic out of it, taking interpersonal relationships out of it, just assault by itself, that shouldn't be on there. That's a goddamn lie. And then what's the difference between battery and assault? I don't even know.
I'm not. Yeah, that's a legalese that you need to be a lawyer to really parse your way through. But I want to talk about something real quick, because you mentioned this whole domestic thing, and women's relationship to violence doesn't get the what do you call it? It doesn't get the press. Women's relationship to violence never gets the press that the violence itself gets. Meaning, when it comes to like a place like Chicago and all the random street violence that goes on there, a lot of that can be traced back to things said and done by a woman. A woman set these things in motion in a lot of instances, right? But that never really gets addressed. And so I was thinking about this clip, and men would rather, even in these instances where women are the problem, men would rather kill each other than attack the problem. And I was thinking about this clip. This was a couple years ago. It was on a train in New York City, and it was probably like in the Bronx or something. This guy, and he looked like a construction worker because, you know, he had his hard hat, his vest and whatever on. So he obviously looked the part. And the clip just starts with him having some kind of argument with this black lady. And she's like, you know, fat, aggressive, dark skinned, big mama type chick. I don't even remember what they were arguing over, but it got to a certain point, and the woman had a man with him. She had a little skinny punk ass little boyfriend with him. And the whole thing was looking crazy because he wasn't saying much. He was sort of standing behind her, and she was being all in dude's face, the construction worker dude. And dude was like, yo, listen, bro, you need to get your girl, because I'm going to bring this to you. And next thing you know, dude just laid the other nigga out. The dude didn't say a word. His girl did all the talking. She wrote the check with every fiber, every word out of her mouth was her writing the check. And that nigga cashed it for her. And that's how the violence between men plays out when it comes to women. He would rather beat up the guy who was essentially a bystander. He wasn't doing shit to you. He couldn't help the fact that the woman he loved is a big crazy bitch. But now he got to get his jaw broke because, you know, the woman he loved is a big crazy bitch. Like, that's the nature of violence in a lot of these situations, but that doesn't get the press. It is hard to suss that kind of thing out too.
Yeah, and don't even get us started if we start trying to cross-reference their victimhood with what we saw in that damn Travis Rudolph case, where dudes are the victim of other dudes. Is you know, they was on somebody's, they got let off somebody's leash. But that's a whole nother thing. But shout out to Poindexter Hill Turn in the building. Just became show sponsors thus far. Just became show sponsors thus far. Put two $20 super chats on it. He says 1,000 Pookies gets clapped equals crickets. 10 Keishas get clapped women most affected. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for this. Dude. Poindexter Hill turn with another one says, Keisha will let go Pookie. The black women stepdaddy Dr. Umar said is because of black men. Oh, because of black men, they have a poor select, even though those same chicks go to college with educated lames and ELs only, but they don't date them. Guys, get your passport. It's over. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate you coming through, supporting the stream. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Shout out to MD Brooks in the building. Says, like Dr. Tiasan Johnson has been saying, racism and misandric aggression. Black men, the ninja, they love to hate. They even competing in death. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. And right now, before we go any forward, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, make sure you go subscribe to Machismo TV. Make sure you also go and subscribe to Hood Conservative as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's get back into this. But oh yeah, make sure on Machismo TV every night at midnight it drops and it runs all the way through the morning to 8 a.m. Make sure you go and check it out if you're up. Some of y'all got that 10 p.m. bedtime. But if you're up way into the wee night hours, it's definitely a good mashup of content, just basically taking clips from all over the sphere and put it on there, all compiled into one place. Definitely good highlights. The best Manosphere highlight show going. Make sure you go and check it out. But all right. Let's dig back into it.
Count all the victims. Black women are the most at risk.
It's not fair.
Unfair because that 67,000 means 25% of crime victims are Black women. But they make up only 16% of Chicago's population. And when the CBS 2 investigators kept digging, we discovered even more disturbing data. Black women represented more than a third of kidnappings, 35% of assaults, 38% of batteries attacked and injured, 40% of rape victims. And let this sink in. Black women are 52% of human trafficking victims. Remember, they're only 16% of the population.
To have to navigate through life.
Now, real quick.
Crime.
I don't know this for a fact, so I could be wrong, and I will accept correction on this if anyone, stands to correct me. But Black men can't possibly be snatching that many Black women. They're just the number. We don't have the numbers, the network, the motivation. Like, what are we gonna do with all these Black women? Don't put that one on us. Like, somebody's definitely snatching these girls up, but don't put that on Black men. Like, where are we gonna put y'all? We on your couch. How are we gonna hide all these bitches on your couch?
Man, I don't even mean to laugh at that, but yeah, it's a lot of kidnapping. You got to have the infrastructure to pull off that type of a criminal ring right there. Like, where are we housing all these women we kidnapping?
Like, I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be making this funny, but god damn it, no way. There's no way in hell Pookie and is out here with like the third largest criminal kidnapping, human smuggling operator. There's no way Pookie and is doing this. Nah. People that look like me, my ass. The fuck out of here.
All right. let's roll it. Let's roll it. One quick observation. Okay, the things that they named here, the things that I guess black women are leading the league. I hate to look at it, talk about it like basketball stats, but the things. Damn it! Why won't it show? All right, shit, I can't get it to show. All right, I'm gonna just got to play it.
Attacked and injured. 40% of rape victims.
All right, okay. So the things that they are leading the league in, okay, kidnapping, assault, batteries. Again, we talking that's the same thing. Rape victims. Okay, you saw they got essentially, 3 and a possible 4 things on the list. But you remember when they first started talking about a list, they named where is it at? I can't find the initial list where it was like 7 things, where they had homicide and a bunch of other stuff on there, and we know they not at the top on that one. It's like the list got shorter when they had to put numbers on it, but when they didn't put numbers on it, it was a longer list with like 7 or 8 things. Here we go.
It's scary.
According to Chicago police crime data for 2022, when you look at all the offenses, count all the victims.
Yeah, right there.
Black for 2022. When you look at all the offenses.
Yeah, they threw 7 things on there then and put homicide and stuff that we know that they've not leading the league in. But when they put numbers on it, they had to tighten up that list. And a lot of the things, and again, the assault, we question the fuck out of that because we know men assault men far more than they assault women. So it's some playing fast and loose with a serious issue. I think you summed it up best when you said that they take a legitimate issue, then they put their propagandist type spin on it. It is a legitimate issue. We talk about the crime that go on in Chicago. And if black people are committing those crimes, then yes, black women are going to be victims of those crimes at a higher rate than women that live in communities that don't have that high of a crime rate. So it's like there's a there, we get it, but they're still fudging the shit out of the numbers. That's essentially what I'm saying. It's a there, but they're trying to sell a narrative.
And let this sink in.
Knowing that you'll potentially become a victim of a crime, primarily because of your race and your gender combined. It's mafia.
Thomas survived a rape.
This is all the paperwork from the hospital.
But she still feels the pain.
What happened to me, it won't go away.
It happened here, this West Side apartment building.
Stop for a second. This is such a weird framing, but this is what the whole point is, right? So because of her race and her gender, right? So she was assaulted by a black man because she's a black woman. Like, that's a very particular type of motive to put on this. It's a very, very, like, I don't even know what to call that, but it's very strange. So you think this happened to you because you're a black woman?
Well, the argument goes that they're assaulted the most, or crimes are committed against them the most because they're the most vulnerable. Then we get into some manosphere-isms and schisms with that one because they're the most vulnerable because they're the least partnered. When you're the least partnered as a woman, then you are susceptible to crimes taking place. And then we could get into we've been told you didn't need or require a man. Like, okay, a lot of this, and I was going to wait a little later putting into it before I get to this, but a lot of this is flying in the face of the whole women and feminism and not needing a man, or like everything that they're saying is basically showing and proving that yes, you do need to be coupled and partnered up with a man. The men who are the problematic men who are out there doing these things, if they're doing it, and this is the argument that they want to make, so I should have waited later to say this. They're going to make the argument that it's problematic men out there doing this to vulnerable women who don't have protection. Okay, so if you accept your premise that women by themselves don't, are going to have these things happen to them, then it seems like if this is the biggest problem, as you're saying, it should be a goddamn competitive foot race to get with any decent man who could protect you from the indecent.
Well,
but instead, no. It's like they bask in the glory of that indecency and then do little CBS documentaries complaining about the outcomes of it. When she's talking about when they described her situation where she got raped, it was going to be out somewhere. I don't know, I forgot what they're going to say, but it was in between two buildings, like an alley, damn near. Like it was a fucked up place to be.
Well,
it's like, what the fuck?
that's exactly what I wanted to point out, though, and that one scenario is actually, and this is what I mean, and then you get what I'm saying. You kind of understand the point, but when they take a legitimate issue and then apply an illegitimate solution or an illegitimate spin to it, right? Yeah, she got attacked in that way, but the majority of these sexual assaults are not some guy jumping out of a bush, just, and he grabs a lady like a crocodile at the watering hole. It's not quite like that in the majority of these sexual assaults. It tends to be a guy you know. So, for example, who was that guy that got put in the wheelchair by the police a couple of years back? And it was on video, and he got famous for it. And then, as it turns out, he was he had an order of protection and a case against him for sexually assaulting his baby mom. And so he wasn't supposed to be there anyway. And then that's how the whole thing escalated. Like, more often than not, it's the guy that we told you not to be with, and you was like, "Fuck, I love him." And so, how do you figure that into this scenario of your pure victimhood? It's a very complicated, sticky kind of conversation.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Agreed 100%. Freebies Journal Builder say heterosexual black men are being written out of American culture. Pay attention. Black men, hashtag Keisha is the threat. Support black male media. Like the stream. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. All right. Getting back into it. Somebody said Jacob Blake is the name.
Yeah, that's the guy's name, and he had a knife. Blexit, calm down, bro, calm down. You acting like you're in a liberal chat room or something. Yes, bro, he had a knife. The motherfucker deserved to die, and I hope he burned in hell. Okay, are we good now?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what comment you're talking about. Okay, all right, let's see.
Now I'm looking at Blexit like, bro, who are you arguing with? That wasn't why I mentioned him.
Yeah. All right.
Couple of drinks, but nothing too crazy.
At a friend's party. It happened here, this West Side apartment building, at a friend's party.
I did have a couple of drinks, but nothing too crazy.
Pictures of a happy, smiling Thomas were taken just minutes before she felt dizzy and went to the bathroom. The police report details the horrors of the criminal's sexual assault.
I remember being in the bathroom with my the person who assaulted me, and I remember just trying to get out of the restroom.
She was in the bathroom.
Oh, I mixed up the stories. There's somebody else that was
okay.
My bad.
Right, but you see what I'm saying, though. So this is you were probably out with somebody that you were, who knows the nature of it, but are you saying the random guy in the bar? More than likely, it's somebody that you kind of knew. So, but that's my whole point. It's the whole, some guy in the alley just jumped on you is way less common than somebody that you were actually with in some type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, a party at your friend's house, and okay, I hate to do this. She said she had a few. I mean, yeah, okay, that the fateful night where I got a DUI like 7 years ago. I just had a few as well. Okay, so so she's at a party. Yeah, she's at a party and she's drunk. She's drunk at her friend's house, and and yeah, I mean, it's look. I hate to colorize it too much because, like, we've been at parties, we know how the shit go down. If it's a party at your friend's house, chances are this is the guy that, if your friend is throwing a party, you probably already. I'm assuming that this is the guy she invited there and was drinking with and was partying with, and then they, yeah.
And look, I'm not saying an assault did or did not happen. I'm just
trying
pointing
not
out
to do that. I'm trying not to do that.
I'm just pointing out that the complicated social nature of this thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, she got too drunk and yeah. And then after it's all said and done, she didn't like it. She didn't feel right afterwards. I mean, it is what it's okay. But like, I understand your point, and it's my point too. That is not a random dude that jumped out the bushes. It was somebody you was in a somewhat of some kind of interpersonal relationship with, and you was partying and drinking with, and then yeah. All right, let's move along. I don't even want to get into details with that because I don't want to say what did. I mean, maybe for all we know, he was in that bathroom and full blown just forcefully did whatever. We don't know, but we've been at parties. We've been young and at parties and drinking and been in bathrooms with girls.
This is why I don't want my daughters dating. If I had it up to me, I would just find her a husband and listen, you go live with him now forever.
Yeah.
I know what happens when girls leave the house.
Yeah.
The car was parked actually right there on the corner, right before the stop sign.
Even when it comes to nonviolent crimes and reports where police record race, Black women,
I couldn't believe it,
like Evelyn Sparks, are targets. Black women account for 24% of property thefts, arson 28%, car thefts 29%. Again, they're only 16% of the population.
Arson?
You could see it out the window.
A 2019 Kia.
I parked it there every day.
But in less than 10 minutes,
yo, you know what's so fucked up about this application of numbers and this sudden understanding of percentages and ratios and population densities and whatnot? And SKC, he alluded to this question a few minutes ago in the chat. It's way too far back to pull it up now, but isn't this weird? This is a weird application of the white man's stats. This is how the white man applies stats. This is Black women using their version of the 1350 argument, right? 13% of the population in America commits 15% of the murders and homicides. They are now throwing their hat into the 1350 ring. They're like, look, whoa. We are only such and such percent of the population, but we're like 48% of the assaults and carjackings and homicides. It's like, okay, so who's doing these? Like, that's the immediate next question, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I looked up, like I shouldn't have to look this up, but I did just to make sure I wasn't tripping. Arson is the criminal act of deliberately setting fire to property. So I'm just nitpickingly confused. How are you a victim of arson?
That is funny. Right? When I think about it, so what nigga is burning your shit up? Like, what niggas do that? That is some real psychotic. Like that, you got a seething hatred of somebody that actually set fire to their stuff.
Arson normally means that you burning. Yeah, people do arson. I mean, when they doing some insurance shit, when they burning some shit up for insurance reasons, setting something on fire on purpose. Like that's a weird thing to be.
It's a woman's thing too, by the way.
Yeah, that's a woman's thing to do, but that's a weird thing to be a statistical victim of. Like that was just a weird thing. All right.
You could see it out the window.
A 29.
Well, no, hold on. One last thing. One last thing. Arson in particular is a crime where, like, why do so many people hate you? Like, you ever think about that? Like, if so many people want to burn your shit, Like historically speaking, from the grand historical perspective, that tends to mean people hate you, like, you know, pitchforks and stuff like that. So why do so many people hate you so much? Like, you're getting your shit burned out that much. I wonder if that's a you problem.
Yeah.
In less than 10 minutes, it was gone. Photos of a trashed Kia found by police an hour later.
Somebody that takes something that you work so hard for, it just makes you feel very violated.
Why are they targets? Because they're, if you want to call it, easy prey. Yes, yeah.
Geneva Brown is a professor of criminology at DePaul University.
We just had an unfortunate Officer Preston who was killed. She was on her way home.
She educated,
at
y'all.
1:40 in the morning, and she was a target of a robbery. Disproportionately, Black women are working third shift jobs. Black women are in communities where there is a lack of a middle class, lack of a economic foundation that would deter this type of behavior.
Where they live, when they work, and listen to this.
Hold up. No. You know what that means? Stop. You know what living where there's lack of a middle class, you know what that's code for? You know what the middle class is synonymous for, right?
No.
Families.
Oh, yeah.
Middle class, almost universally. Like, if you're living in a middle class neighborhood, there tends to be way more family units around than if as opposed to your average poor neighborhood. Where even if you want to do, you know, a 1-for-1 head count or just go with population densities or whatever, there's going to be a lot more stable family units in the middle class. And they're kind of signaling, without saying it flat out, you know, they're dangerous in the neighborhoods. They are in danger in the neighborhoods they create.
You know what? And this is personal anecdote. I know when I was married, and I guess you could call the neighborhood a middle class neighborhood, you know. Mostly white people and then like a few black couples sprinkled around, as it, you know. I can't name a single person, an individual who like a single man or a single woman who lived on my street. Can't think of one. Everybody that I could think of was married.
That's where I want to live. I gotta get me a good woman. That's the type of place I want to live. But you know, there's rules with that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't think about it. So yeah, I mean that cracks the code right there. You know, and they saying they don't live in the middle class in neighborhoods. What they're basically saying, they live in neighborhoods with just a bunch of single, unpartnered, unmarried, unpartnered women. That's essentially what they're saying. And a bunch of single, unmarried, unpartnered, nomadic males running around. And yeah, that's essentially what it comes down to. That's why most of the dirt that they kick on black men for what black men are supposedly doing to them, I mean, there's no way of getting around that. There's no way of getting around that. It does come down to a lot of their choices of who they're with and who they commit to and who they, you know, who they have children by, who they're long-term partnered to and committed to. A lot of it does come down to that. And, you know, people want to criticize the Manosphere for bringing up that point. People want to criticize people in the Manosphere for bringing up that point. But it's a hard one to get around. It's a hard one to get around. It's like I've made this point a number of times. It's barely a white privilege more so than it's a two-parent in the household privilege. And so then it comes down to sort of like that Dr. Umar conversation when the dude was like, look, the dude was like, look, I'm a solid dude. If they choosing who they choose and they making their choices, if they get knocked up by this guy or that guy, it's like, whatever. It's, you know, what do you want me to do? And then he's saying, well, it's your fault that guy even exists because you were supposed to somehow fix him at some point in his life to make him not exist.
We got to go back and like kill Thanos in the crib, basically, is what he wants us to do. He wants us to go back in time and kill baby Thanos so he can never grow up to be Thanos. Dr. Umar is nuts, man.
Yeah, he wanted us to get a silver DeLorean in this motherfucker and get Doc Brown a silver DeLorean, do full Back to the Future. And yeah, and go and fix that shit.
And look, speaking of Dr. Umar too, I'm glad you mentioned him because I hadn't even thought about him in context of this whole video. But this is what Dr. Umar wants you to do. And remember when I was, ranting and raving about there is no table and only men truly negotiate. This is what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Dr. Umar stepped forward to be the negotiator on women's behalf. And he wants to solve this very problem. This is why he stepped forward to negotiate on her behalf. Because, leave it to us. We're not going to save her from her own problems.
Yeah. All right, let's roll it.
Criminals put a target on the backs of Black women.
You know that you're in a neighborhood where crime is the norm and not the exception. You're in a neighborhood where you know that the police are slow to respond. It creates that atmosphere where, unfortunately, you have people who feel empowered to become bolder or to continue to commit offenses until they're caught.
Why does it always have to be me? When do I get a break? When can I have some peace? I hear those words quite often.
Hold up. See, pause. I hear y'all say that exact same thing about your goddamn children, by the way, too. Why does it always have to be me? When do I get a break? When can I take a pause?
Yeah, I was reading the chat. I wasn't even listening to what you were saying, but all right.
Until they're caught.
Why does it always have to be me? When do I get a break? When can I have some peace? I hear those words quite often in the work that I do.
Gabrielle Molden Carwell works as a trauma therapist, helping Black women cope with their emotional pain.
It's disheartening and it causes self-doubt because something must be wrong with me.
She knows the trauma of sexual assault, not just because she treats survivors.
What's so funny?
Because something must be wrong with me. You think? I'm sorry. No, all right. I'm laughing at the preposterousness of this whole. Think about this, all right? What is a trauma therapist?
She's a therapist for somebody who has went through some type of trauma. But, one could argue that everybody that's going to therapy got some kind of trauma at some level. So I don't know if she's like a specific type of trauma therapist, but I don't know. She's doing therapy to those who've been through trauma. I'm just going to assume. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm trying to steel man this in my own way. Mm-hmm. So when you are a victim of a heinous crime at the hands of a Black man, you get to sit with another Black woman and talk about how much this Black man has harmed you. That's a job. This is what you bitches do every fucking day. That is exactly what you do in your regular life. Now it's a job. I bet you work for the government. I know you work for the government.
That's interesting. The government is paying Black women to talk to other Black women about the problems that's been inflicted on them by Black men. That is interesting. The government pays for it. Pays her to do it. That's interesting. Will's vlog channel in the building says, I saw that video the other day. There was a lot of Black male hate in those comments. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Yeah, I can imagine that was I can imagine that's what was going on in the comment section. I didn't see it beyond I never looked at the comments. I got sent this video and then we went from there. I didn't even see the comments. This is, Crybaby 704 in the building. Crybaby 704 in the building. He says the stat for them setting the fires. The stat is for them setting the fires. That's what it sounds like, but that means they're setting 29% of the fires if it's for that, or they're being when fires are started on purpose, they're affected by it 29% of the time. Either way it go, it is just a weird stat. I've never heard anybody keep up with or catalog somebody being a victim of arson.
Here's a theory, and you know, you can hate me later. I know I come up with crazy theories from time to time. That's my burden in life, I suppose. But do you think maybe it's possible that fire really hates black women? Just more than, because you know, fire hates everybody, but it really hates black women. Do you think that's what's going on here?
That's not possible. I mean, that would mean that when like wildfire is spreading, it's spreading because it's moving in the direction of black women. Like
What
that's
if that look, Los Angeles burns like every other year? And I'm wondering if they're just trying to chase the niggas out. Like, listen, if you bitches get out of here, things will be better.
Oh boy.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All right. Let's go.
It and my mom.
She's lived with it.
I've seen it and my grandmother on my mom's side. I've seen it for myself.
And how old were you?
I was 12.
In the year 2000, when this photo of a carefree little girl posed for the camera, masking her torture.
It went on for about 6 months or so. I was angry. I was heartbroken.
It's very aggravating.
Rage keeps me up at night a lot.
How long have black women been overrepresented? The CBS 2 investigators went searching for answers. We looked at every crime, every victim, not just 1 or 2 years, not 3 or 4. We went back 21 years. CBS 2 investigative data journalist.
Can we just pause to point something out? Because I didn't want to like stop to be funny while she was telling that particular story, but I do want to say this. Your mom, given that you didn't have a dad, I imagine, your mom, however hard the job is, she was supposed to protect you. And that kind of doesn't get brought up in the list of grievances. You know, it's like, who else was supposed to do it? If not you, then who?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say nothing on that part. I mean, listen, when we start talking about, you know, grown people and the outcomes of their choices, then, you know, I don't have any sympathy. If somebody is a 10, 12-year-old girl or boy, for that matter, and something is happening being inflicted on them by an adult, then yeah, I do got sympathy when it comes. I definitely got sympathy when it comes to something like that. And and you rightfully pointed out that, well, there was an adult on the job that dropped the ball somewhere. So, and that doesn't get pointed out. And me and X have went in on these topics, how a lot of the times it's the boyfriend or one of the dudes that's coming in and out of there. And oh my God, yeah. me and X be having long conversations about that, because he's interviewed a lot of women on that, and you know, the mama be knowing, and it be all kinds of fucked up shit going on right there. But that is something where I do got sympathy for the young girl involved in that situation.
And I want to point out, and it seems extra uncomfortable, as uncomfortable as it is to talk about this happening to young girls. Not all these women have daughters. You know, some of these women have sons, and the same thing happens to them too. But you know, that story gets told even less than the daughter story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The stuff is buried in like statistical reports that come out every year.
But it's here, the latest, pages 79 to 81.
You got batteries, you got robberies.
Ramos combined the crime data
by day of week, by location type,
with race, sex, and age from police reports.
It was surprising at how consistently Black women in particular were over-indexed in relation to the population, like year after year after year.
The revelation, Black women have always suffered more than others. A surprising fact?
I was 16 when all of that was going on.
No one suffers more than young Black girls under 18. A perfect picture of a thriving high school junior at Little Village, until she dated the wrong boyfriend.
I remember like him grabbing my arm and he swung on me and hit me. He was very violent. He was very mentally abusive. All of that was very traumatic.
From 2001 to 2022, for every white
This is where it gets in the realm of where I stop believing it, because we know high school, especially black high school girls, will hit boys way more than boys hit them, but they get a CBS docu-series when they get hit. So it's like, okay,
right. Nobody brings a news camera when you get kicked in the nuts. That shit never makes the news.
Right.
and then not for nothing too, but now if in light of what I said a few minutes ago about, if I had my way, I would just, let my daughters marry the guy I select for him and you go live with him forever, because this is the alternative, right? You can be out there playing this game, because my thing is like, what you had a boyfriend for? But now you're victim blaming, don't blame the victim. She didn't do nothing wrong. Yes, she did. She had a boyfriend. That's what she did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to, hold on real quick. 271 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. But shout out to, we got a Cash App from Give me 1 second. It's coming up real slow, but this is from K Powell. K Powell in the building. He says, you on real nigga time. Oh, dang, he sent this one at 10:13 a.m. He said, you on real nigga time again. I see. Oh, yeah, stay late. But K Powell in the building. K Powell. Thank you for the Cash App. Do appreciate that.
Oh, by the way, too, thank you, Free Zone Lou. Shout out to Free Zone for the $10 Cash App. Thank you for supporting the stream, y'all. Shout out to the Grift Gang. Do support the Grift Gang. We ain't gonna stop grifting just because y'all called us grifters.
Oh man, I ain't even about to get started on that shit.
White girl attacked and injured. There were 18 black girls hurt.
I decided like I wanted to take some pills. I no longer was getting the A and B's that I wanted. So if my grades began to drop, I felt very burdened. And so I no longer wanted to feel burdened.
I feel like this is just as bad as the war on drugs, right? Like everything went shut down for that. But what about these crimes?
But for black women disproportionately targeted by crime, there is no special task force, no mayoral commission.
We talk about big picture stuff.
That was
you defunded the fucking police. No shit, there is no special task force for you. We specifically took away the special task force for you because you wanted us to. And now we are on the news. There is no black women anti-crime unit. Yes, we defunded your police. It was right here in the bill that you signed in honor of George Floyd. May his name forever rest.
Man, JC the Conqueror just came through on the Cash App, and shout out to JC. Well, I think that's JC. It's either JC the Conqueror or yep, that's JC the Conqueror. Shout out to JC the Conqueror. Just dropped $5 on the Cash App in as well. Yeah, so that's that right there. What she just said takes it to basically the title of the stream. All right, black women want another crime bill against black men. They want that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. Seemingly this is what it looks like when you're making the case for a crime bill. She talked about the war on drugs. She talked about essentially, maybe she was directly referencing the 94 crime bill when she was basically saying there was a whole task force for that. There was, things were put into place. Why isn't nothing being put into place to stop these crimes? That's what she's getting at. So what she's essentially saying is that, yes, we want a hard crackdown. We want a hard crackdown on everything that these niggas is doing. Now, this is a question that I got to ask to you, because you're not in the wait, that's over policing camp. You like, yes, police them niggas. Yes, you know, you in the yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell camp. But you're not in that camp in the name of protecting the black women's. But you just saying in general, just degenerate niggas need to get locked up. Well, so
Well, technically, they're coming back to my position. They're coming home to
that's what I'm
me.
getting at. That's
Like,
what I'm
bitch, I've
getting at.
been here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I've been. You just getting here. You left here because you thought I was too mean, and now the streets then turned you out and opened you up wide, and you want to come back to me. Look at you now on your knees, begging for the thing you rejected from me. Isn't this funny?
Yeah, but see, really, they're in a roundabout way. They're not coming back to you. They're acknowledging some agreement with you, but without really saying it. But they're not coming back to you. They're just basically pleading harder to government daddy, so to speak, to ultimately do something about the community that they had a major hand, the types of community that they had a major hand in creating, or like the black woman said in the video, they don't, there's no middle class structure there. And by middle class structure, she means family structure. Because I'm sure it's enough Negroes out there that has some type of employment, and she got some type of employment. They put their money together. They're statistically in the middle class. They could afford to live in that neighborhood that I described that I lived in when I was married. They could afford to live there. So they could be middle class. They could have the simple protections that most women get. But again, the shout out to David Carroll when he basically said, they calling it Blackistan, but he's like, you birthed the Blackistan out of your goddamn pussy, okay. So he basically said you give birth to Blackistan and then complain about it. So, and that's essentially what is going on. That is essentially what's going on.
Now let's talk real politic and shrewd negotiation, right? See, this is why you can't negotiate with women anyway. Because why would I like? I would easily out negotiate a chick. You know what I'm saying? So it's a stupid thing, but this is how shrewd you have to be. Now that you're coming back to my position, crime bill and such, that is no longer my position. Technically, yes, you are right, Bernard. I'm gonna lock these niggas up. Yes, they deserve to die. I hope. Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not gonna back off from that, right? But when it comes to politics and negotiations and horse trading, right? Now that you're on your knees for that very position, I'm taking that off the table. Fuck that. No, you don't deserve that. This is what we're gonna do now. If you want a crime bill, I want to restructure the some of these social policies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the leverage you have to offer. Now, obviously, I'm not the guy in the position to make that move, but that's the move that should be made by the guy in that position, right? If you want a crime bill from me, if you want me to support a crime bill, all right, well, now you have to take some of my advice about how to get back to that happy middle class structure you want, which means we have to take away some of your extra privileges.
That's really how a lot of politics get done. And it's happened in these debates all the time where it's something that the Democrats pushed for, made a whole career pushing for it, but they got it done when a Republican was in power, and then they try to spin the argument and say it was a Republican who signed that bill, who signed the legislation for that. Yeah, he signed it, but he got some stuff that he wanted, and that's the stuff that he had to bend on. So,
right. And yeah, shout out to Free Zone Lou. The price of the brick goes up. That's what you don't understand. The price of the brick has just went up. You see this documentary that they're putting out about black men and black women? All that needs to be understood from the black men's side of the argument is the price of the brick just went up.
All right. Charles Merchant in the building says these studies are the B-Dub's grievances to the world, and that he is my oppressor after cashing in insurance policies to GoFundMe for his death. Ooh.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
If we talk about, hot topics, but Black female victimization is not a hot topic.
In Brown adds, no public outcry to address the core causes.
I think that this is a conversation that needs to be had.
We've been counting CTA attacks, and this one marks 8 in the past 10 days.
As a Black woman walking into the world,
Some of the 14 wounded are still in the hospital.
We've been counting CTA attacks, and this one marks 8 in the past 10 days.
as a Black woman walking into the world,
Some of the 14 wounded are still in the hospital.
every day.
All right, and now they're doing news clippings of of crimes that more than likely happened to Black men, and smuggling these little news clippings and sound bites into their show that they're doing about the crimes that happen against Black women. It's like,
could you just imagine the news cycle if only 14 Black women were just shot in a drive-by? Like somebody did a drive-by on a twerkathon and all these twerkers were just shot randomly. 14 Black twerk champions, like an entire twerk team taken out in a drive-by shooting. Like, really, come on. That's just not happening. We love twerkers.
14 Black women get shot in one weekend. They're trying to find the manifesto of the shooter. Like, it's that serious of an issue. Like, 14 women get shot. The shooter had a manifesto, and so it's a weird thing. That it's propaganda. Dr. Tia Johnson talk about that a lot, and when for example they're talking when they talk about just the overall victimhood, everything that BLM was basically built on, Black deaths by the cops, and the women. He talk about the amount of men that get killed by the police versus the amount of women that get killed by the police. It's not even a male female issue. It's strictly a Black male issue. But just like how we had to really, really think hard to remember the name of so and so, we know the name Breonna Taylor. We know these. We can name the names of the Black women who were killed by it. So there is an attempt to equalize it when it's damn near like, I don't know the exact stat, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's like 50-1 when it comes to something like that. We can name Sandra Bland, we can name Breonna Taylor, but it ends up being a situation where those are damn near, I don't want to say damn near the only ones, because there was that one chick that I forgot her name, that got shot through the window. But it turns into a thing, and then this is where I pump the brakes because I'm not trying to win the race in the victimhood Olympics, but I can see propaganda. I know propaganda when I see it. That's all I'm saying.
Let me say one thing first. We got almost 300 people. Can we get like 250 likes, and then the rest of y'all can ride for free? Can we get those likes up? We got almost 300 people here. Can we get 250 likes? Appreciate that. That being said, Bernard, the fact that you can remember their names is a testament to how rare it actually is. That is just an axiom of propaganda. If you can remember their names, it's a rarity by definition, because you don't remember the names of any of the Pookies who get killed, even by the police.
Yeah, I have to throw it to the chat room. I have to throw it to the chat room. Out of a couple hundred people in the chat room, somebody gonna remember the name, but it's hard. It's harder to pull the names right out. But it's like, yeah, they equalize that. They definitely equalize that. And Dr. Tia Johnson, he's on the front lines of pointing out things that are that uniquely affect Black men, that don't really affect Black women as much.
And knowing there's this high probability that something's going to happen to me when I leave the house. And it's like, do you even leave home? But we have to. We can't, live a life where we're sheltered, but why should we have to?
Here's a sad reality. The data shows that Black women are the most victimized group in Chicago, not just this year, but almost every year for the last 2 decades. Now, this is the first in a series of reports. In the future, we'll look at where these crimes are taking place and what might be done to address the problem.
All right. There's the video. There's the video.
SKC mentioned in the chat that this is in fact the beginning of a multi-part series, and like she just said, they're going to start to talk about solutions to the problem. So I suspect this could be a recurring theme right here on the Saturday show for us, because I wonder what they're going to do to address this problem. I want to know what solutions Black women will come up with to solve Black women's problem. I'm highly fascinated by this prospect.
Well, if they put this out there enough, then what will end up happening, and it will be interesting. They will ultimately start supporting a crime bill. Like we see people turn like that. We see people turn like that to where 1 minute, it's fuck the police are the enemy, over policing bias, blah 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 blah. But then if they put out content that basically puts Black women separate and apart as a unique victim, as a special and unique victim, they're going to ignore their previous talking points and just hop right on the yes, we're unique victims that need something unique to help us or stop us from being victims, to prevent us from being victims, I should say, at the rate that we're being victims. And what that ultimately would result in is a Biden-esque crime bill that disproportionately, to use that word, disproportionately affects Black men. That's what it ultimately would result in.
I got a great idea. I wish I knew Hollywood people. I would pitch this. Who's that guy? Dick Wolf, something from Law and Order. Think about this. Law and Order, Black Women's Victim Unit. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Law and Order, Black Women's Victim Unit. And we should get
my goodness,
Tifa off that bullshit and put her on Black Women's Law and Order Victim Unit. Let her be like the chief. She got to be like the squad leader or whatever. And every now and then, on like a real serious case, she puts on her vest and she kicks down a door and saves a baby from a big angry Black nigga.
Oh man, that's wild. That's wild. But all right, we're about to open this thing up. The link is in the chat room. That's funny shit, man. But before we open it up, special thanks and special shout out to Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, shout out to Machismo TV. Make sure you go by and subscribe to that. The link to that should be in the chat room as you see it right there. The link to that is in the chat room. Definitely click on that link, go and subscribe. It's the best manosphere, more specifically Black manosphere highlight show in the business. Best Black manosphere highlight show in the business. Definitely go and subscribe and check it out. It runs midnight to 8 a.m. Go ahead, you got it.
I'm sorry, I got to say, though, I love that tagline. We have done so much with so little for so long. We feel like we can do anything with nothing. That is so brilliant. And I feel that. Like, I hate to say I feel most of the time, but no, I literally feel that, bro. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That is such a great encapsulation of a spirit.
Yeah. No, that's man. That's beautiful. It is. All right. We are joined by Triggerman. We're joined by Triggerman in the building.
What's up, Bernard?
What's up and what's on your mind? What you got on this topic?
Whenever I hear things like this, I gotta go read the article. every time whenever I pull this up. So I read the article in regards to the story, and there were 26,000 instances of violent crime in Chicago, period, of all races. They're talking about 67,000 crimes against Black women. So what they're saying is the majority of those crimes are non-violent crimes.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they listed those crimes, they show all violent crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sliding, or it's like a veil where they're trying to say, oh, look at all these violent crimes, but then you're going to use the stats for non-violent crimes to try to bolster it up and try to make it look bad.
Yeah, see what you did was confirmed my already suspicion. Like that's more or less what I was saying when they were presenting everything. I'm like, some of this stuff we know does not apply. I mean, once they put homicide on the list, we know that they're full of shit. So yeah, yeah. So no, you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head on that. So definitely thank you for for adding that to the conversation. But
we're gonna call that one fun with numbers, Bernard. That's how you have fun with numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Machismo TV says, good job covering this topic. Salute for the commercial, bro. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. All right. Got the standard RLC in the building. Let's go ahead. What's on your mind? What say you? You got the floor, you got the mic.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Love the show. Thanks for having me up. Are y'all familiar with I think it's called the gender fear paradox? It's basically women, because they feel more vulnerable, they think they're more vulnerable. I mean, they think they're more vulnerable than the victim more. And this just kind of feeds into it, because men have been saying for a while now, we're the victims of violent crime at the highest rates. But I think this feeds into what Black women feel like it feeds into what they feel like. And nobody asked the question, like, what's the percentage of Black males in Chicago? Because the majority of those crimes that they listed, if not all of them, the majority victim was Black men. So nobody asked those questions, and it just feeds into it. Oh, Bernard, you mentioned police brutality or police killing women.
Mm-hmm.
I read in The Man Not by Tommy Curry, he cited a stat that said Black victims, like 220 were men and like 20 were women.
Yeah. So I think somebody in the chat, I forgot what number they threw out in the chat room, but no, that sounds right. You said about 210 were men and about 20 were women. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually around.
I want to. Sorry, guys. I want to address something really quick. SKC, he put something in the chat, a question. He says, so here's the question, Hood and BR. CBS leans left, so why is this reporting being greenlit now? I think it's two things happening, a convergence of two types of issues or two phenomena. One, the CBS news is a local news. I don't think this is a national CBS at 7 type of news thing. It's a local CBS Chicago story. And two, because it's a local news story, and this is an interesting thing, and I know this to be true because I actually try to find little news clips, and you have to like literally go to the news website directly. Like major national events don't necessarily get. I mean, major national news corporations don't cover the things that local news covers. So when it comes to local news, they are way more likely to go in depth on a particular issue that doesn't really look too good for the left. Baltimore is a great example, right? Why isn't there a national news story about Baltimore's illiteracy rates? There was I saw a local news story from Baltimore about a kid was on the honor roll and can't fucking read. Like, you graduated with honors. Think about how stupid the rest of y'all have to be. if he graduated with honors and he can't read, like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's insane.
And this is not a national story, but the local news will give you that kind of thing. But there is a huge gap between the local coverage and the national coverage. And I think that's what you're really kind of seeing right there, SKC. This kind of thing won't really make the national news. And then also, too, because the nature of local politics, this is all basically people on the left fighting with people on the left. So they don't see it as, they're giving anybody on the right a real win, because, no Republican is necessarily going to win just because they did this,
Well, one thing you got to notice is that it's not it's a left-leaning thing to do, to talk about the victimization of Black women. That's a left-leaning thing to do. So I don't know I don't know how how that would be making the giving an argument to the right. It does, in the sense that, okay, if somebody is on the right and their argument is that, it depends on what argument is being made. And what I'm trying to get at is that people acknowledge the crime is higher. They disagree and quibble about the why. They understand that the crime is higher, and particularly violent crime is higher in the hood. They claw at each other over the why, or it's the lack of job opportunities, or it's the racism, it's the history of slavery, it's the system putting one against the other, or it's just niggas doing nigga shit and they need to stop. It's so that's what the debate end up being. But just talking about the victimization of Black women, no, that's in line, that's in pocket. But they don't realize that if they start talking, hard, heavy-handed solutions to those problems, then they're moving over to the right, and they only alluded to the heavy-handed solutions to the problem when they basically was saying that, hey, with the war on drugs, it was all kind of action getting rolled out, get put into place. Where's the action right now? When they start calling for that heavy-handed action against crime, then they've moved to the right. But right now, they're just basking in the glory of the victimhood right now. So that's more or less what's happening right there. But they're alluding to potential crime bills, and that will be interesting. But shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit the like button. One thing I'm gonna say before I pass it to Dirty Folks, somebody mentioned, I forgot who it was, mentioned the fear paradox. I think RM got it from Google for me. It says women experience higher levels of crime fear than men, despite having lower victimization rates, as reported in official data sources. This apparent inconsistency is called the sex fear paradox in the fear of crime in the fear of crime literature. It's a name for what we just witnessed with this documentary that we just watched. It's a name.
Sorry, I disagree with the use of the word paradox. I'm not sure what the paradox is they're referring to, because it makes perfect sense to me. It's not a paradoxical argument in that way. Women have less natural competence. Women, you know how they say, like, women commit suicide attempts more, but men actually kill themselves more? Mm-hmm. And it's a really brutal explanation of a very simple, basic biological reality. Men are better at violence. We are more competent at violence. We are more physically designed for violence. We are built for violent competency. And so when it comes to that general fear, yeah, you should be more afraid than me, because I can take more of a beating and give more of a beating than you.
That's not the paradox.
Okay, explain it to me.
No paradox, because girls are just dumb and they got clothes on. Girls commit
right. So you're with me. There's no paradox.
No. Girls commit suicide attempts for attention because they want somebody to hug them. They're not trying to delete themselves. The paradox would be me wanting to delete my ex-girlfriend Keisha, but wanting her to know I deleted her, so I can't delete her or she won't know. That's a paradox. Now,
agreed, but that's not to call that the woman's natural state of fear because she can't do what men do. To call that a paradox, that's what I'm saying. That's weird to me.
They're not afraid. these girls, Chicago girls, stop, man, stop it. Chicago girls are not afraid.
They're not afraid.
Chicago girls date the killer, then smack the killer in front of his friends and like, oh my God, he's trying to choke me. Chicago girls are dumb. That's not a paradox. They're just dumb. Here's what happened. Baby boomer men over 60 and women under 60 move the same way, the exact same way. So because they don't raise their children, right? So y'all seen videos of boomer men talking about these black women doing it. Who you think put them in position? Them old boomer men who hated their sons, right? So they created the crime bill for their sons because they made their sons put keys around their neck and raise themselves. And then was like, oh my God, my son's a threat. Now he's taller than me. Women are doing the exact same thing. This is the I want my baby until he's 13, then he got to move with his daddy. They're just not good at being human beings. There's no paradox. You know what's so crazy? And I want to thank Blexit, and I never thought I'd say that, but I want to thank Blexit for talking about the 2 charter schools, the all-boy charter schools that they're trying to shut down in Chicago with 100% graduation rate, and a 99% of all those kids get academic scholarships to college. And you know why they want to shut them down? Because they hate to see men excel. Chicago's a matriarchal city. So
No. All right, wait. I know that to be true, but can you give me the official version of why they want to shut it down? Like, they have to be making up some kind of excuse.
I'll tell you exactly, because they want to add girls, and the men who ran the charter school say, no, we're not adding girls because girls destroy everything they touch. So now, because black women run this, because the Chicago School Board is appointed, not elected. Everybody's appointed as a woman. So all the women want to gang up on the men and say, man, y'all doing something right and y'all ain't including girls. Let us in.
Yeah, but see that even right there, even though I believe that's the reason why, I think what Hood was getting at is that they normally have to give an official reason why, and I'm pretty sure that
No, that's enough. That's enough.
but,
Think about it.
they can
No
put that
child.
on paper.
No. What was Obama's thing? What was Barack
My
Obama's
brother's
thing?
keeper.
And what happened? Why?
Black women shut down the brother's keeper.
Yeah, so I believe that's enough. Yeah, it's not politically it's not a bad move politically on the left to say you guys don't include girls, therefore you're evil and we have to shut you down. That is leftism 101 actually. So it's not out of pocket.
In addition to that, and it's crazy that he had great timing because I'm editing this video. I'm gonna add that. Shout out to Blexi, and I never thought I'd say that. But here's the thing: I'm doing a docu-series right now on how Chicago ended up being a sanctuary city with all these migrants in abandoned schools. And the schools were abandoned because a bunch of black women who either ran for office or Chicago's really run by nonprofit organizations, to be honest with you. And they buyout is so low. So it's a bunch of goofy chicks with no idea of what happens 3 steps ahead. And I was there for the whole thing. It's like since 2010. And I'm like, yo, I'm watching y'all shut down 50 schools, and 23 of them schools is in a district that you shutting them down. And what everybody ended up doing was the Mexicans ended up making a school system called Uno. And they took all, so when all the public schools shut down, just to answer that, when all the public schools shut down, they had the option of teachers letting those schools become charter schools, right? And all the teachers didn't want to leave the union because they want that guaranteed check with no vision that they're going to shut down the schools anyway. It's not like because you said no, they're not going to shut them down and you're not going to be unemployed. So your union card means nothing because girls are dumb. So they fought so hard to keep their jobs instead of keeping their schools that 53 schools shut down. But initially it was 50. Now the Latinos, they were smart enough to say we'll make them charter schools. Not only that, but we'll make up the money by making them ESL schools. So, and they still get paid by the state the exact same rate without having a union, right? So, because the money doesn't change, you're only worth $7,200 no matter who you are, whether it's childcare, whether it's students, whether it's old people with a CNA, you worth $7,200 a year. That's how much the state pays per person. That's how much your life worth to the state. So it didn't change the money anyway. It just changes how much the taxes have to supplement a goofy chick income with a job with all the answers in the back of the book. So That's what happened. So a couple of black men took him up on that offer, and they took the old Jones Commercial. I don't remember the name of the other school, but I know one of them was Jones Commercial, and they converted it to a boys' school, and now the boys have 100% graduation rate for like the last 11 years, and girls want to get in, and they said no, so the girls want to shut it down. The guys came with a housing agency for men, same way that the LGBT is doing now with the T's. They had one for men. It was a voucher program so they could become home owners. It wasn't like a rental like Section 8, but they're still off HUD. And black women who run HUD in Chicago shut that down. They don't want the men to have anything.
You see, this is why we have a gender war. And to guys who say, the black men need to just shut up, stop talking about black women. I promise you, listen, I'll speak for myself, but I know this to be true beyond just me. But I promise you, it's not because of who they have sex with. That is the least of my concern.
I'm with you, bro. When I say I hate these toddlers righteously, that's what I mean. It's not a sexual access thing. It's you want to destroy my life and still want me to find a couple of dollars to pay you to destroy my life.
That right there. Now we got Bernard stepped away for a second, so let me quarterback this for a moment. We got somebody else on the panel. I think I can't see a name, bro. You got the icon with the fitted cap on, with the hat on. What's your name, bro? Take the mic.
Oh, it's still standard RLC. I'm just I just changed my avatar.
Now what's going on? You got it, bro.
Oh no, I actually just looked up the stat I got from Tommy Curry, and it says is it Chicago? It says Operation Ghetto Storm reported in 2012 313 black victims of police encounters. Said 290 were black men and 23 were black women. So I think just their overall fear of everything just makes them think that they're that much more in danger than everybody else. And the stats that they gave were just disingenuous. That's all I had.
If you look up Washington Post Fatal Force, they do a report on police shootings every year. So you can look up the numbers, and actually when I looked up last time, it was about 300 to 10. Black women are in the single digits, and when I lined it up with white women, they were literally getting killed at the same rate as white women.
So you mean at the same rate, not just like a head count type of thing. It's just at the rate is the same, because rate is a way more telling number than just a raw head count.
Yeah, so every year there's around by them like about 4 times over, so the rate is different, but the actual number is like 10 to 20 between black women and white women, with more white women being killed.
Now here's and I talked about this in the opener, but this is kind of what I wonder how this is going to play out. I question, I can't, I don't have a great crystal ball per se, but I know this is going to be a weird issue when it comes to this crime thing, right? Black women have all the opportunity, never mind if their cause is righteous or not. They have all the leverage and opportunity to basically say that they are in fact the true victims of this crime wave, and therefore they should be catered to even more. Now, what they get from that, it's hard for me to really imagine, but I know things will move in that direction. And what do you guys think about this whole issue in terms of black women being able to like leverage this crime issue against black men, broadly speaking?
I believe it's not going to work. However, they're going to remaster it and make black men. Well, here's the thing. Nobody believes black women are victims, but people do believe that black men are aggressive. They'll have to tweak it a little bit and make it not black woman centric, because nobody cares about Keisha. Like, everybody knows she's a big burly bully. But either the fear of black men or the sympathy for black men drives dollars. Nobody cares about black women. People buy LeBron jerseys. They do not buy Candace Parker jerseys, right?
I hear you, but see, this is where I'm at with that. I think that, black female victimhood tears and cries, and what problems are they having, and what do we got to do to pander or cater to them, the largest voting base of the Democratic Party, blah 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 blah. I do believe that they can say some shit that can get some people to listen. Not to mention that the number of black women in some of those cities like Chicago that are in positions of power. So yes, if they coalesce around that, and I mean really coalesce around the idea of they're the ultimate, they're Captain Victimhood. That's what they are. And that conversation goes on for so long. Eventually, they got to talk about, okay, who's the person who's victimizing them, and what are we going to do about these people that's victimizing the black woman, the queen of victimhood. So yes, that's why it's in the title. Will black women get a crime bill? Try to get a crime bill passed against black men? Well, if they keep pushing this whole thing of that we're there the ultimate victims, I think they will fight in that. I think they will fight in that direction. But with the, like I said, when me and Hood was talking, is that they don't realize is that they're abandoning a lot of the things that they hold near and dear on the left, and that's blaming things on no, it's the over policing and stereotyping, and no, they basically going to no, these niggas is crazy, lock these niggas up. It's very possible that they're going to head in that direction. That's when we saw the little documentary. That chick was sitting there saying that the war on drugs, things got passed, things got done for that. Where is our task force to protect us?
Okay. You mentioned two things, Bernard. Two things very important. Girls can't think 3 steps ahead, and girls can't count. So they don't know where the money gonna come from. They don't know where the numbers gonna come from, and they can't make a plan. They can enact a plan. They can't make a plan. They may count on it. Don't have to be a gibbet that makes the plan and includes women, but it'll have to be a man to make the plan and include women. That's why I said they'll have to tweak it, because girls don't know shit. They just do shit.
So it's some of them who just gonna bitch, moan, and cry and get into that thing that's called the fear paradox, where they feel like they're more victimized, they believe it, and then so they lean into that, and then all it takes is just, I mean, by and large, what you're saying about not thinking steps ahead, yeah, that's true. But a lot of them just got to be the ones just being loud voices crying about it, and then you just need just a few Stacey Abrams in position to try to get shit done. That's how it would end up happening.
Okay, me being in Chicago, I can't say nationwide what happened, because Chicago's corrupt. We do our things our own way, and Chicago's run by nonprofits. And me knowing all the players, matter of fact, I'm gonna hop back in the game this year. This is how that really works in Chicago. First of all, when you guys see videos of women fighting in the street until they naked, normally it's in Chicago. The girl who got in a fight and had a seizure, then woke up out of her seizure and finished fighting, right outside Wrigley Field, Chicago. When you hear about all these women shooting other women, Chicago. Nobody believes.
Real quick. If anybody has that video of the girl fighting and then having a seizure and then getting back up to finish fighting, please send that to me. Find a way to get in touch with me and then give me that video. I need that. My life needs that. I'm incomplete without it.
It's on one of my streams. I gotta find where I got it from, bro. But yeah, so you can't be actively on camera being the most violent people on earth and then say I feel like a victim. Nobody's gonna believe that story, right? They'll have to add a gay to make a plan. And in Chicago, guys don't really mess with gays like that. I mean, period. Like, nobody actively goes out their way, like on a hate campaign. We just let everybody be. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. So, but they yell there in fear. They yell there in fear. They yell at every alleyway. But even when it comes to that, when it comes to the T's, and people in Chicago know this. On the west side, it's off Madison and Cicero. On the south side, it's off 76 and Halsted. These Mickey Ficky trends be in the middle of the street, flagging down cars, nigga, like somebody's house on fire, hopping in front of your shit, wearing bad wigs and bad shoes, and and nobody still mess with them. They selling Badussi in front of the police station on 76 and Halsted. It's the crazy shit. Police don't even mess with them. So it's hard to make that argument that you're being harassed. That's the problem. They're making up stories in their head. with no documented facts. Like nobody cares.
Right. Before I go to Nate,
Well,
Chakanulu saying
one
they
thing,
want to.
those raw numbers.
Hold on, real quick.
Go
He
ahead.
said they want another crime bill on niggas, but y'all still think
They
women. They're what? They're your women or what?
Yeah.
Take that shit to Dr. Umar Johnson. All right, we just did content on the person who think exactly like what you're talking about. Don't come over here with that shit. Take that shit to Dr. Umar Johnson. But all right.
Now, I just wanted to say those numbers that they play in the video we were talking about, they don't tell a story. The numbers themselves don't tell a story. That's why they had to hand select the stories for us to tell so they can fill out the argument in our imagination. But if the numbers, if you actually knew the story of those numbers, you probably wouldn't feel the sympathy for most of these women the way you would feel it watching that CBS News piece.
Yeah, Devon Mitchell in the building says these be the same black women say all the good black men in jail. right.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
And the
And
same.
hold on, wait, Shaka Noodle is asking, what does that mean? It means the person who was passionately talking about black men risking life and limb, doing all manner of crazy, King Kong simping to save the worst of them. That's the type of person who you should take the y'all still believe these your women. You need to take that to the kufi wearing niggas. Like, take that over there. That's what I'm saying.
Shout
Like,
out to
goddamn. Like, that's all right. But shout out to Devon Mitchell in the building. Shout out. We got little big Nate in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing this afternoon?
Up,
bud? Dirty, what up, fool?
What's up, man? Hey, we chopped up the other day, man. Shout out to
Nate,
Nate.
what's good,
We
bro?
chopped it up heavy, dog. Dude, that title, I'm telling you, that's you. That's all you, bro. Take it.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I'm bad at titles. I'm great at content. I'm like Jada, man. I'm like Jada Chris. I got bars. My hooks ain't shit.
Titles. Okay.
That's funny.
Hey, but couple of things. Are y'all aware? I know Hood is of that nightmare black woman at that graduation who completely fabricated everything that happened there. She wrestled away the microphone from the old
I was
white
gonna
lady.
do content on
I
that,
got
Nate.
that.
I got that queued up.
Oh, no, bruh. Oh, you doing content on it right now? On this show?
Oh no, not on this show.
No.
okay.
I was saying I got it queued up though for like content that I want to do.
Oh, okay. It's in the docket. Gotcha.
Right, basically. I got a bunch of stuff in the chamber.
For those of you that are unaware, there was a graduation. It was outside. Every graduating student, they formed a double line. There was an older white lady at the head of the line. She would put the mic in front of one graduate's mouth. They would say their name. They were only supposed to say their name. And then that graduate would walk past. It's their acknowledgement. They get their diploma and they go to their family. The old white lady was passing the mic back and forth, allowing each student just to say their name. Some students slipped in a little more. Most students just followed protocol. Well, here comes a black whore. Okay. I didn't say a black woman. That's a black whore. There's a difference. Here comes this giraffe tall black whore. She says her name. She walks by. She gets angry. She goes back to the white woman as two black men were about to get the mic put in their face to say their name for their acknowledgement for graduating. The black whore snatches the mic. She literally committed an assault against this white lady. She wrestles the mic out of her hand. If somebody could pull that up, it's not a long video.
I
And you
saw
can
it.
see what happened.
Yeah, I saw it. Did you see the one when Shorty went to go get a diploma and did the John Morant gun dance?
Yes, yeah. She takes the mic.
Yo, I got a
My
whole
name-
clip of black people acting up at graduation. Like 8 clips, basically. It's wild. Like niggas y'all can't even graduate nicely. It's terrible. But I'm sorry,
Anything in a
nigga.
civilized society with these fucking niggas. They are disgusting. So she wrestles the mic away and says, "My name is blah, 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 and today is my day, blah, blah, blah." And she slams the microphone on the ground. Like I said, the next two people were two black men getting their degrees. They didn't even get to say their names. So the whore walks off. Poor white lady picks up the mic. They try to go back to doing things. Fat black whores in the crowd are cheering her on. I guess later that day, she gets online and says, yeah, you know, black people weren't allowed to say their name. The white lady was pulling the mic away from black people's faces really quick and letting other races of students say the name and say their sorority or say whatever message or the degree they got. And she wasn't allowing black students to do that. Nigga, the whole thing was a lie. Nigga, this dirty black whore, there were dozens of people with their cell phones recording the whole thing. So how did she not think it would get out that everything she said was a lie? And of course, Black Conservative Perspective did an excellent job with this. He showed a bunch of homosexual black men and disgusting black whores. I didn't say black women, I said black whores, coming to her defense before the truth came out. Oh, that's right, girl. You should have took that mic. What are these white people always trying to deny us? Homosexual, cum-drinking black men. Oh, that's right, girl. They forever trying to keep us from what's ours. That's just a parade of nigger victim nonsense. All that you get in the Democrat Party with these filthy niggas.
I thought I got
find out the whole thing was a lie. Shout out to Dirty Folks. He calls them, he said, Keisha is the #1 fight promoter. That's all they do. I didn't say black women. These leftist, herpes-covered, abortion-having black whores in the Democrat Party. Thank you. I cannot stand these people.
So you say they just dripping with herpes? I've never seen that before. They just drip herpes.
Hey.
Yeah, 50% of them got herpes in the Democrat Party. I'm not going to put that on conservative black women. I'm not going to put that on conservative black women. Liberal black women, 50% of them have herpes. That's a t-shirt, baloney boxes.
That's a t-shirt.
They're disgusting. All blacks in the Democrat Party are trash.
That ain't a goddamn stat. 50% of the black women in the Democratic Party
got herpes, nigga.
Hey, I didn't say it. Look, I'm not even gonna say I don't endorse the message. I'm just saying if they're not having a breakout, go crazy. Look.
I gave you Machismo TV. You got your clip. You got your clip, my niggas. Roll with it. I'm done, man. Nigga, I've been telling y'all this for 4 years. These people are horrible. They are destroying our race, and they're at the tip of the spear of the destruction of our country. Black single mothers, effeminate, weak black men that coddle them and worship at the altar of the black vagina.
I don't even disagree with that. All I know is from now on, I'm just telling girls. I said they had cooties and people was tripping. You know what? You win, bro. You the boss.
I'm just laughing at the 50% of the women in the Democrat, 50% of the black women in the Democratic Party got herpes. That's some funny.
Hey, what was that movie? No, what was that movie when it was like, God bless America and America alone? It was a Chris Rock.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was.
No, you know, it's so funny though. That is kind of the right wing attitude though. I think that's funny, but for totally the wrong reasons. Like, no, yeah, exactly. Fuck everybody else.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no. The tagline was "God bless America" and no place else. That's what they was. That's what that shit was in that movie.
That's Nate, man. That's Nate.
Oh man, that killed me. That killed me.
Oh yeah. I didn't even know I needed that until I got it, bro.
Oh man, I think that's Mr. Deshorn. I think there's BS. Over 60% of black men in the Democratic Party. No, just playing. 60% of black men are middle class. Yet she says there is a lack of middle class infrastructure. They just aren't choosing middle class men. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. What was more embedded into that? It depends on where they put the number of what middle class is and what middle class isn't. But typically, the rates of black men and black women living in the middle class go up when they're partnered and together and living together and or married or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what it is. I don't know the exact number of the data is noisy on some of that stuff. I just say that. I got to remind myself to do a stream on that. But anyway, great. What is that? Glacier Don in the building says you earned my sub. Hey, thank you for that. Do appreciate it.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All right.
I got one more point.
Go ahead. Yeah, because
down.
you just came up and you talked about the graduation chick. Yeah.
Well, I just want to make one more point.
Mm-hmm.
With this violence issue and black women talking about being victims of violence, the only way to address the problem is to address it at its root. You can hire you can give every black woman in Chicago their own personal police escort. The problem is not going to stop until you stop producing these fucking criminal little nigga males. How do you stop producing them?
Then who's going to shoot up the Maxwell Polish spot for him, man? That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Are you?
But see, Nate, that's why I said, like, and Bernard was basically pointing out how, like, I am on the side of law and order and a crime bill and all that. Like, I'm not anti-crime bill, but if you had it, if it was up to me and they wanted to negotiate with me about how to get a crime bill, I would have to put some type of social policy changes on the table. There's no way I'm going to rescue you women from your own children. These are basically the kids of your girlfriends from high school, and you're scared of them now. And I'm supposed to get involved, and I want something for it. I want a lot of my things on the table now. Now, whether that happens in a place like Chicago, I doubt, but still.
Okay, you black women want a crime bill? Fine. Anytime someone under the age of 18 is convicted of a crime, the mother goes to jail for 6 months minimum.
You know what?
See, that's a lie. That's a lie. I wasn't even. I was just going to take her away her welfare card. You want to lock her straight up?
Oh, she needs to be.
If your child commits a crime, it's under 18. You are responsible for that child. When there's truancy issues, they can punish the parent. Why can't you punish the parent for criminal offenses?
Okay, two things for that, and I agree with you. Number one, there's no way they can have a Chicago law. They can have a Chicago ordinance. They can't have a Chicago law, and all ordinances are illegal if you feel like taking it to the Supreme Court, right? Because Chicago used to have a mob action, and mob action used to be 2 or more, let's say, black males. Like New York has stop and frisk.
Yeah.
But we have mob action, 2 or more people walking together. So you and your brother walking to the store, police can stop and frisk you. And we challenged that because it's just a way to get you in the system, get your fingerprints. So we challenged that, and the Constitution said that's illegal. So now it's still on the books, but now it's an ordinance. So now you get a ticket. So what they want to do, the best they could do is an ordinance, which would be akin to, getting caught peeing in the alley. But it doesn't change their dating criteria. Bernard said something, I'm not going to go there, but Bernard was talking about middle class people are normally coupled up. The reason these girls are in poverty is because they hate men. They think they are men. That's why I'll be laughing and they be like, look, I don't think women come in black personally. So I don't concern myself with that.
Oh, God.
We can have vaginal men. Like, I kind of feel like I'm in a gay relationship when I sleep with them, but I still be sleeping with them because coochie is delicious. But that's what clothes off. With clothes on, I mean, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, though. I think my remedy is an easier one to implement because you're not going to change their opinions about how they deal with men. But if there is a serious threat to their freedom, these single moms will do their job, make sure their sons are in the house, make sure they have a job, make sure everything is happening so mama don't go to jail. Because mama doesn't want Big Bertha sliding her fingertips into her box and asshole. Unwelcome. And that's what's gonna happen to mama.
Mama like that, bro. Mama about that life, B. Look, I'm here for mama. I got my look. Let me tell you something, bro. Because I understand what you're saying. This is the issue that that men have when they talk these issues about black women. And I'm gonna tell you the biggest problem. Y'all think like men, and then you think that they're adults just because they're adult age and adult size. Y'all not seeing them as a little delinquent kids that kick you in the knee and run. That's what they are. So once you understand it from that perspective, you understand their capability for chaos and then running behind grandma's skirt like, uncle trying to hit me.
You know what, Dirty? I think right there in a nutshell, that is kind of the supreme goal of this entire manosphere endeavor. Not so much to change women. Women are who they always have been. Play the clip, damn it, Bernard. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
There we go. Yeah. Shout out real quick. Shout out to Sick With It Yo. Shout out to Sick With It Yo. Says subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Do appreciate people subscribing to the show. Do appreciate it. The subscribers been kind of at a standstill lately. So I appreciate people coming, new people hopping on board, subscribing to the show. 339 people in the building. Hit the like button. Lap the SWAT 1. I think I said that. Lap SWAT 1. He says you have to cut off the influence of the pale lib. He's talking about the white liberal. He said,
"Ooh, yes, one of my favorite subjects." Yes.
We're not gonna
very true.
Don't say nothing. Nate, don't say nothing.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Very true. But the thing I was saying is the whole point of this manosphere endeavor is exactly what Dirty Folks was just talking about. Like, it's not to change women. They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook. And the simple truth is that they are kind of like children. And it's a weird relationship because they're adults and they have like adult freedoms and privileges, but they essentially, when the shit hits the fan, you see their childlike nature for what it is, put it that way. And we as men have to accept that before shit hits the fan. We have to know that going in. We can't operate like that and then get blindsided by it because some shit hit the fan. And that's really the argument. That's the goal, is to get men to think about women differently.
My thing,
real quick. Sir Tice, shout out to Sir Tice. He says Kamala knows a lot about truancy.
About abortions too. She always talking about that. Anyway,
yeah, I'm a little truancy. That one just slipped my mind. What is truancy?
Children that are late to school.
That's what that is.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought shit.
Well, technically it's skipping school, but yeah, if you're late enough.
Yeah, that's what they. That's my apologies. Yeah, it's skipping school truants.
Okay, cool. And Sir Tice sent the $5 Cash App as well. So shout out to Sir Tice. Do appreciate it. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. 342 in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. Somebody else was about to jump in before I go to. Go ahead, Nate. Then we go on to Primetime 89 next.
It's about punishment. I've talked about severe cultural consequences. Dirty's talked about the only religions you can respect are the religions that have the ability to exact punishment on those that don't follow the dictates of said religion. If we're gonna have a functioning society,
so for real, he really.
Nigga, I've been listening to your shit, nigga. I told you, I've been leaving comments too, shit. But no, dog, it's for real. What abilities, the women that, if you're going to deal with American women, especially American Black women, you're just going to understand you're going to have to punish them. You're going to have to be in a position. I'm not saying what kind of punishment, not on Bernard's. I won't do that. But what type of punishment are you ready to levy against this woman? Ultimately, walking away with your feet is the ultimate punishment form. Let her hit the bricks, get back to juggling dicks. Let her deal with that, and then just continue to ruin and diminish herself. But if you're going to try to work things out with her and she's belligerent, she's violent, she doesn't want to listen, but you just want to hang in there with her, you're going to have to punish her. And what type of punishment are you prepared to enact? What type of punishment are Black men as a collective, if they're going to deal with Black American women? What type of punishments are you ready to enact? Don't even look to the fucking government. Don't even look to the fucking state law or law enforcement. Don't even look to them. What type of punishments are you willing to levy in your house against a woman that is out of pocket? Because what you see with Black women today, and with modern women in general, Black women in specific, is a group of women that have not been under any type of requirements, any type of consequences for 60 years, thanks to feminism, white liberalism, and the Democrat Party. What are you prepared to do? Niggas are so frustrated, they're hopping on flights and learning foreign languages. I mean, and that's cool for the guys that want to do that. I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm going to advise you that not everybody's hopping planes with passports. And if you just want to continue to let things deteriorate with these women, you know, as a particular group of men who love to use 3 letters say, your country's going to burn. It's going to burn. It's going to collapse. You can't have 50% of your population worthless, used up whores, and all they talk about is the bag.
Well, Nate, if I may, you asked, you know, what are you going to do? And I'm not the answer man, but I do know this is kind of how it works out. And I got this. This is something I heard from TFM years ago, so I'm not saying this is me at all. But it basically plays out like this, right? The solution is simple. Women have too many rights, and because they have all these rights and they don't actually bear the responsibilities of these rights, everything is kind of going to hell in one way or another. There's all these little different areas where you can see, you know, there's just a bunch of female influence, and that's part of the reason why, that's a big part of the reason why things are going that way. Now, the solution would be to take women's rights away. But we could not, from this point, from this particular vantage point in the American social political order, we see no conceivable way of taking women's rights away. So we're just going to watch things collapse because niggas don't want to take women's rights away.
Okay,
Dirty Folks has an answer.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I know there are answers, but what I'm saying is it's not going to, America will refuse to do it, is what I'm saying.
No. Here's the thing. Because I am an American, I'm not a colored. And as an American, I understand what my rights are as an American, right? I understand that I can't suck swillers and get a college degree like these illiterate chicks with masters, right? I understand that I have the inalienable right to the freedom of religion, the freedom of the Second Amendment freedoms of arming myself against all terrorism, both
yes, sir.
And they are definitely domestic terrorists. I have the right through my religion and through my corporatocracy, because America's a corporation. It's not a democracy. Ain't no vote here, right? Elective colleges vote, but
it's a representative republic. But go ahead.
Right. We live to the republic for which we stand. So if we live in a corporatism, I have the right to set up a corporation. And if I want my corporation, all the girls got to sell ass, then call me a bunny ranch. But I have a right to do so at will employment. The thing is, how do you take that and multiply that culturally and say, yo, guys, this is what works. Culturally, we'll do this. And that is how you indoctrinate people through school. So you set up a school system to teach the boys how to oppress their toddlers so she'll be happy, because they're only happy under oppression. Then, or they're never happy. So just give them oppression. At least you happy and the kids can read. But you can do it through corporatocracy and religion. If guys are willing to change their religion, they dress like Power Rangers all the time when they want to be slaves. You change your religion, you change your corporate designation, and then you do what you want to do. And you can do that because you're a colored man. And all the laws that everybody uses to oppress you are the laws that were supposed to be there to free you, but all black men want to do was save hoes.
Oh, real quick. Sick with it. Yo, in the building, he says, TS, I believe you're talking about Tommy Sotomayor, said years ago they are retarded children. He's never been proven more right. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. He definitely one of the pioneers of doing this type of content. So shout out to him. Prime time, what is that? Prime time 89 in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. Everybody cammed off. You ain't got to be cammed up on this one. Look, you turn.
I was cammed up. So
okay, cool.
But if you don't mind, I want to talk about that graduation. If you don't mind that.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you guys don't talk. Well, first of all, can you do me a favor? Can you put my screen up real quick?
What do you mean by put your screen up? Like blow it up like that?
Yeah, blow up. Okay, as you see there, I was at that graduation. That graduation.
Oh shit! Yo, time out.
Yeah.
You were physically there when the chick wilded out.
Oh, yo,
LaGuardia Community
congratulations,
College
brother.
graduation.
Congratulations. Before you even go down that line, congratulations. I know she fucked up your shine, bro.
Well, this is the thing. While I was there, I didn't hear anything about that until later that evening. I was at Root Chris with my fiance, my family, and her family, and I saw a viral video of her doing that. I was just like, man, chick wilding out, and I was like, wait, no. And then the campus looked familiar and all that. I'm like, no. So then I went to her. I tried on like Shade Room and all these toxic blogs, all these blogs, black blogs, and everything. And I found out it was in Queens College, LaGuardia Community College graduates. I'm like, oh my god, bro! This is my first college graduation, and it turned woke. It became a that chick is lying. That chick is lying, bro. Like her response on TikTok, bro. She messed up. She said that she wasn't giving some black students the opportunity to say their names. That's a lie. And she said that everyone else said their degrees and about their experience. We're only supposed to say their names. She's lying, bro.
All right. Now, for those that don't know what's going on, I pulled it up right here. I was having a hard time finding it on the gram, but all right.
There's another video on TikTok. There's other black women exposing her too.
All right, cool. Here go the video. That's what he's referring to right here. Thank you, whoever that was that just supported the stream. I'll get to that in a second. But all right, here you go. This what happened.
Okay. Let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadija Cadiano, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Oh, drops the mic.
This fucking whore. This shitty black whore.
Yeah, listen to this. Listen.
What happened was I was walking on and we had to announce our names and say our name before we get on the stage. So I was saying my name and she literally, my name is long. My name, obviously, I have like 3 syllables in my name. I'm not going to say exactly my name right now, but okay, just so you get a point. So I didn't even finish getting to say my name. And then the people that went before me and everything, they all got to say their name, their major, and even extras. And me and another girl.
Wrong.
And you saying you was there, and that's a goddamn lie.
I was there. I said my name. She didn't say all. She said some. Why would she just discredit only black? Oh, okay, yeah, fake racism. Woke. I got it. But and a bunch of people in the comments around TikTok, Instagram, Facebook that defended her. She said she let a bunch of white students say their full name and everything. If you search LaGuardia Community College in Queens, New York, the enrollment is about 12%. It's like 15 to 12% less. It's mostly Hispanic and Asians there.
Wow.
Wait. This was a community college?
Yes, LaGuardia Community College in Queens, New York, and the graduation was at a different campus called Queens College. It's about like 15-minute drive away from each other's campuses.
So you telling me that this chick is, and this isn't
She's a New Yorker,
but this isn't a dig at people with 2-year degrees, but she really was doing the most for that. Like she was milking the moment for that. Like you
a viral moment. You know what it is? You know, if you go, sorry to interrupt you. If you go on her TikTok, she has like a single out, so she's just doing it for clout going on. If you look at her TikTok,
you know what's so sad? Even with her face beat, she is a very unattractive camel-looking individual, bro.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It does seem like, getting a blowjob from her would be like, some blender shit. Like it does seem bad, the teeth.
And let this just be a reminder that Little Big Nate was right. Leftist ideology, Democrat Party ideology, turns black women into nightmares, turns black men into effeminates. Period.
I think that this is
Oh,
more.
Nate. Oh,
Well, I think that this is more just like a strong desire for attention.
No, she blamed racism, GC. That's leftist.
No. I don't disagree as a means to an end. You know, like she's hiding behind the shield of racism. But
Yes.
like when I was listening further, because I've seen this before, and she talks about how none of her family was there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then what she said, like, you know, it's going to be all about me. You know, it really shows that she's thirsting for attention, something bad. And you know, her family don't give a shit about her. In addition to her not being that hot, would mean that she don't really get much attention in life. So she just
but she's claiming racism, and this bitch, if you there's another vantage point where you can see the next two people to get their acknowledgement were two black men. That's when she snatches the mic. The two black men don't even get
the other
noticed.
angle.
Yeah. And another thing I want to point out is that she's her name isn't that long. She said 3 syllables. Rebecca is 3 syllables. Like, what the fuck was that? You know, like her name is
look.
Her name is not Mama Sebi Kusamu Makusa. Like it's 3 syllables.
Hey, real quick, yeah, that person who's spamming the chat with all that, whatever you just saying, burglars always win or whatever. Yeah, just blocking. That's a blockable offense. That ain't
Shoot yourself, please. Shoot yourself.
LaGuardia Community College. Even though, I graduated and all that. Thank the Lord, I wasn't. I'm old enough not to be indoctrinated and all that. It's pretty much a leftist school. It's pro LGBT, pro immigrant, pro vax mandates, or pro BLM and all.
Oh no, I'm talking to the chat room. It looks like they hold on, wait, don't nobody touch it because I'll get it. There's this guy that's doing this. I can block a user, ban user. Okay, now he's banned. Okay, cool. All right, y'all look like y'all.
I don't know if you can block a bot. That's the thing about a bot attack. It's nonstop and it's indefinite.
Oh wow, yeah, that motherfucker is right back. Oh
yeah, it's just a thing that life sucks now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow, very interesting. But of course, the brother. I mean, congratulations on your degree. You got a fiance, man. Sounds great. Best of luck in life to you, young man. What'd you get your degree in, if you don't mind me asking?
It's associates in science, AS, for new media technology, humanities.
Okay, best of luck to you, young brother. But
go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, it's a school pretty much where they cater to all this all this leftist stuff. Even one of my teachers, which is my art teacher, she's an admitted feminist. And I'm 33. I'm like the oldest one in the class. Like she's my age. She's like with Venezuela, admitted feminist Venezuela. And she's all right. She was pretty cool throughout the semester. You know, she's not like a BICTH. But we had like an assignment on like world issues and everything. And the student was talking about, this female student was talking about how the video game industry is sexist against women. There's not enough women hiring. And the professor said we're gonna have a debate on whoever's assignment. And I participated. Listen, I'm a gamer. In the world of gaming, it's not the fact that they're sexist. It's who cares more to video game, man or woman. It's like the gender, the pay gap argument. You know what I'm saying? Like the STEM argument. Men participate in STEM more. Well, men participate in video games more than women, so it's not sexist. And the professor was like, okay, we're very too far off. We're gonna move on. Like she knew where I was going to. The leftist the school is. You know what I'm saying? But in the graduation, I was in one side. There was 2 sides, side A and side B. I was on side A in the humanities based on my degree. And even though I was in the back, I was hearing people say their names and all that. I didn't hear that reckless stuff she was saying from the mic, but a lot of people were saying their names, even a bunch of blacks.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Women don't men don't complain about the lack of men in interior design. I don't hear men complaining about the lack of men in child daycare.
I don't hear Asian people complaining about the lack of Asians in the NBA.
Yeah. Why don't you? Women are not designed to be going into those fields, to be honest with you. I mean, there's exceptions. Women can get into those fields and they can do well, but they're not. Women are designed to do two things: to become a wife and a mommy. That's it. Anything else is it's extra, it's supplemental, it's ancillary.
Well, it is an insult to the brothers of the past who were campaigning for equal access to like longshoremen, garbage men, janitor type jobs, for them to later come and say it's not enough CEOs it's not enough female CEOs at
Female
at Google.
CEOs.
Yeah, that is ridiculous to compare the struggles, because these guys were looking for any jobs to feed their families. They were, like, hey, the docs are just hiring the Irish, or like they had legitimate concerns. This is just madness.
All right, let me roll some more of the tape, though. Let me roll some more of the tape while we got somebody who was there and present. Let's see what else. I don't even know if I've seen this whole thing.
Noticed that she was putting the mic. She was pulling the mic down super fast for some Black people. I don't want to be that person, but that was the tea. So I mean, I just couldn't let that happen, because I just feel like I worked so hard to graduate and went through so much shit to graduate that I just felt like I had to reclaim my moment. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a problematic person. I don't want to ruin no one's day. I don't want to violate anybody, but that's what she did. She didn't even let me finish speaking. She put the mic down, cut me off.
And you saying everybody did was just walked up and just said their name.
How evil this bitch is.
Hold on, wait. Well, I'm asking the brother who was there. You saying everybody did would just walk up and just say their name? That's it? Oh shit!
Yeah, they say their name. They say that, I mean, if somebody slipped in their degree, whatnot, okay, if it's possible to happen, yeah. But the majority of was pretty much just saying their name. They just walk through all different shapes, color. It don't matter. That people were just saying their names.
I actually have video confirmation of that. Let me see if I can dig it up.
I was just about to pull up the video. If you got it, go ahead and do it.
Yo, real quick. I just noticed something. Bernard, could you put the thumbnail up for this show?
One moment.
Yeah, that
there
was
you go.
So the guy right there in the middle, the one getting handcuffed, his name is Lamont Record, right?
Lamont Record. You just made that name up?
No. I call him Carrot Top. All right, put me on the screen. I just changed my avatar. Put my avatar on the screen.
Okay. Hold up. Let me pull you up. Where is it? Damn it. Okay, here we go.
You see, that's me, the boy that ran, Jamal Green, the one that ran for mayor and then sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Right to the left of him, that's Carrot Top. But his name Lamont, but I call him Carrot Top because he got big hair. Anyway, I wanted to say that that's all. You can take it off. Like I saw.
Oh wait, that's the dude?
Yeah, that's the dude. I told you I'm plugged in my city. I do more than just gangbang, sir. Look, so the thing is, they fell out though. Jamal and Lamont fell out. So I know a lot of information.
All right, so what the hell did your little homie do? Like, what's going on? Why are you getting arrested?
There was a person in Chicago by the name of what was his name? Laquan McDaniel. Laquan McDaniel got shot 10 times, 12 times, 16 times, something like that, by the police. He was a mentally disabled kid. 16, because they were out there chanting 16 shots, and they were protesting the police death. This is like in the beginning of Black Lives Matter. And they were just young boys, paid protesters out there yelling 16 shots, and they got arrested for disturbing the peace. So it looks like a hostile situation, like a million police around them, but it was really a protest in front of a police station. And it made a great photo. This was a photo in Sun Times, and they have another one with him and Jamal together. Same thing. They staring down the police, which is crazy. It looked like a movie. Like they just staring down the police like pigs. Like yeah, they started to get arrested. It's $100 bond. He got out in 4 hours, but they make it seem serious though, don't it? Don't they make it look like he's just a deviant, a crazy dude? He's very sensitive. He's a very sensitive young man. And I'm glad he got his mental health together because he tried to commit suicide Well, we talking about suicide, like very sensitive guy.
Damn, now I feel bad that I used him for a prop in this.
No, man. That pitch is eternal, man. Carrot Top is eternal, and his hair still look like that. That's just hilarious. But I say that to say that the people that they use to make the example a lot of times are paid actors. They really good kids. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they not ruffians and deviants, but those are the images they use to show you either police violence or that black men are crazy. When that was a peaceful protest. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So the whole thing about Chicago is Chicago has, Chicago's the #1 city in the world for advertising. Like LA got the movies and music, and New York too. Chicago, all the commercials come from Chicago. So everything you see from Chicago be made up, bro. You know what I'm saying? It gives the allure of like high crime in Chicago. Well, crime is high because niggas steal. But there's only like 6 sociopaths in Chicago that's earthing everybody. There's like 6 King Vaughns, and they be like, everybody in Chicago killing. I'm like, yo, it's like 6 King Vaughns over here. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. I hate this guy so much, bro, man.
Me too, bro. Yeah, me too, bro.
You want me to play this? This shows exactly what happened before she came up and did this. Check this out.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
This nigga Burgles he's hilarious at this point.
Take a look.
Graduate girl lied about why she snatched the microphone.
John Booth, Amy Gomez, Angelica Chiara Villar, Gina Aguilera.
White, black, they say their name back and forth.
Amoya Doily, Sandra Robinson, Janelle Wellington, big up Jamaica.
See?
Yeah, so you seen that? You heard that? Definitive proof and evidence that this.
Damn. Okay, that was solid evidence. Do they got it? I thought that she was going to end that shot. Grab the mic.
Watch this. Watch this now. Watch this. Woo! 2 black men are about to get their shine. Watch this.
Hold on, wait. Pause it.
Yeah.
That could get bigger and cover the full screen. You see the box up. Oh shit.
Is that better?
Damn, you did more than what I thought. Now we missing some of the screen.
Okay, hold on. Is that good?
Yeah. Well, that's probably as good as it could get. It was the box in the far right hand corner that would have got it. But anyway. All right, cool. No, play ball.
All right.
Get happy with it.
Brian Amadis.
Hey, I want the mic.
Damn.
You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand.
Hey, Omar Johnson is off.
It's gonna be all about me.
Drop the mic.
You hear that, black bitch? Drop the mic.
Wait a minute.
You saw what happened.
So
she wasn't even in line.
She went back. Yeah.
She said her name. She was gone and came back to do this shit.
She wanted more attention.
I thought there was a professor too, Mr. Albert. I was like, was that a professor or a student?
Oh, yeah. She wanted more attention. Basically, I mean, attention is like crack to a person that's not getting it. She said her name and it was lackluster to her, so she's like, oh no, I'm gonna go back and get more.
I just want y'all to make sure y'all subscribe to her OnlyFans.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she got OnlyFans.
No, I'm not joking. Please subscribe to her OnlyFans. Yeah, she needs them support.
My thing is, if any employer hires this bitch, that company needs to be boycotted. You hire this troublemaking bitch to your company, everyone should walk away from. I mean, it's New York, so who knows? But no one should shop with that fucking company. You hire this, like Dirty Folks said, they're fucking fight promoters. That's what they are. Keisha is a fucking fight promoter, dog.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part is she didn't feel snatched until a black man was there. She wasn't gonna snatch it from a white boy.
If I was white, I wouldn't be living here in New York City because of how liberal this is. The liberal media is powerful over here. I wouldn't do that. Look what happened to Danielle, the dude that stopped Jordan Neely in the train. Look what happened to him. He getting called racist. About 2 weeks ago in the East Village of Manhattan in the park. There was a black woman that was off her rocket, tear these liberal whites, blowing up a newspaper and everything. And this one white person just pushed her, and that's it. But no one else would do anything because they're scared they might lose their job because the media is gonna say, "Oh, look at this racist guy, trying to stop this innocent black woman." No, man, I wouldn't do that. If I was white, I would have been out of here.
Are you gonna move? Are you getting out of New York? You got to get out of New York, bro.
Then the next few years, in the next few years, say after we get married, next few years,
Come on down to these red states, dog. You'll live like a king.
No, I was born here in New York in '89. Me and my family left when I was a kid to Florida around like '96, '97. I came back over here in New York 2014 for school and work, and I'm gonna take one more school. I'm gonna go to the new school downtown, and after that, in the next like 4 years, and then we're out of here. We're gonna move back to Florida. Family down there.
Red states, baby.
All right.
I know about Red State. I know Red State. Shout out to Jets.
Real quick. Lap the SWAT 1. I think I said that right. Lap SWAT 1 in the building says forming PACs, lobbyist groups should be a priority. Politicians answer to the economy under them. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. We also got the Kobe 24 in the building says it's safe to say that black men have graduated from nonsense in the West. Tia Mowry graduated from her marriage. I remember that one. Did content on that. That was wild. But thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Sir Tice in the building says, ask the grad what's his Cash App. If you could type that out in the chat room, feel free to go ahead and type that out in the chat room or state. It's probably easier to type it out. Or do you got a Cash App?
I mean, you got a Cash App.
I do. Is it like that? Everybody got Cash Apps nowadays? I don't know if everybody
man. How else you gonna see girls out of sex? You got a Cash App.
How's he gonna Cash App a chick before he holler at her? Slide the DM. That's how it works nowadays. But all right. But no, yeah, bro. If you got a Cash App, somebody is asking, or Tice is asking, what's your Cash App? I think you want to give you a graduation gift. So by all means, drop it in the chat room. But
Bernard, people are suggesting you make it subscribers only to kill the bot, possibly.
I don't even know how to do that.
Oh, okay.
So I think you gotta do that at the beginning of the show. I don't think you can do it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we might have to just deal with that. But Salty Balls in the building. I'll try to figure it out after I read the super chat. But shout out to Deacon, poet and philosopher. Salty Balls in the building says, what the fuck? Mechanica Magna 2 and 2. In the spirit of John Henry, no machine structure or apparatus built could ever eclipse the strength and voice of thine brethren. The time spent on insolent devices is better used to design one for thine she-heathen's own pleasure. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. The great poet, deacon, philosopher, Salty Balls in the building. Appreciate you.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
So, bringing it back to the subject, how do black women expect to stop this, quote, epidemic of violence against black women unless you stop those producing the assailants? And black women are the ones producing the assailants with their bad decision making, their bad personal decision making. So how do you solve this problem of violence against black women when the ones committing it are the young boys raised by their girlfriends?
It's not even that.
Own their children again.
It's not even that, bro. They are the arbiters of the violence. I don't. Okay, how often you see a man just mollywop on a woman? That's not even
never. Not today. Never.
That's not how men are built. Period. Men don't just go out beating on women and kids and puppies. Are there people who do it? Yes, and we like, they crazy. Like, men just don't do that. Like to
shit. Even when it happens, I'll be wondering. Like, I know she did something.
Exactly. Evil. That's what's my man name? The comedian, Bill Burr. Like, ass whippings don't fall out the sky. Like,
they just don't. Like, I've been under the sky my whole life. Not one ass whipping I've seen fall from it.
Like, look at that cloud. It looked like an ass. Like, never. So they kick it off. They hit you first, second, third. They call your mama a bitch. They key up your car, get you fired from your job, steal your baby. Something. They do something, bro. They are not innocent in this.
Oh, I know. Travis Rudolph's case proved that. Little chubby, light-skinned bitch he was dating. He's on the stand. The lawyer's doing what happened. It's on video, her balling up her fist, punching him in front of the door. They get in the house. She hits him with a trophy in his head, right? Continues to assault him. They go outside. She tries to hit him with a Patron bottle, right? Tries to damage his car, right? Lawyer asks, well, what did you do? Well, my mom taught me to never hit a woman. I didn't hit her. I'm like, your mother taught you to be a bitch. When a man says don't hit her, she's a female, he's saying it because he's one too. Every creature on this planet has the right to defend itself. Every creature, male, female, I don't care what it is. You have a right to defend yourself. If self-preservation is the first law, how dare you not defend yourself? This is ridiculous. Sorry, sorry.
I mean, I agree with you, and I've had that philosophical argument with my own parents because I used to fight my sister. I'm like, shit, I ain't hit her first, nigga. I hit her back. Like,
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if it's a way to tweak the chat room to make it to where subscribed only.
You have to do it through your YouTube portal thing. You got to do it through that.
Man, I done blocked them, spammed them, everything. He's still right here. Like, what's popping?
It's not a him. It's a computer. This is Skynet. You got to think like that.
I need to find out what app they use because I need to get some free spam out, man. Y'all got to buy my books and deodorant and shit.
Hey, I'm out, man. Appreciate it, Bernard.
All right, take care.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming through. Congratulations. All right. God damn. Yeah. So yeah, we gonna have to suffer through that one today. I don't even know. I don't even know how to make the chat members only. I don't even know how to do that shit. So
it says go through YouTube Studio and hit the live control room button. So yeah, open up your YouTube Studio, and there should be some kind of controls while you're live streaming. Because I know I've seen people do it during the show. I've been watching shows and they go to their members only portion, right, and it's just a smooth transition.
So go. All right. Well, I'll play around with it, try to figure shit. I'll just say go to YouTube Studio and then. All right. What the fuck? Where we at? All right. Shout out to Deacon Salty Balls with another super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. Everybody coming through, supporting the stream. GC, I don't know if it was something more in particular that you wanted to come up and say, but because you kind of just was like reactionary on what someone else was saying. I don't know if it was something in particular you had on your mind on said topic or wherever the conversation went.
No. But I do want to just follow up with this. I didn't want to insult anybody who went to a junior college or graduated from a junior college or anything like that. I just was shocked because when she talked about that she worked so hard, I was under the impression that it was like a very rare and high level degree. I actually did. She actually left me with that impression, so I was shocked. Like,
bro, if I told you
she wanted a lot for less than what I thought that she put in.
Bro, you do understand that
by no means didn't mean to insult anybody.
No, bro, it's not even that. You and shout out to community colleges, bro.
Yeah.
You do understand though that most Black women, even though they have the most degrees, quote unquote, they all go to some type of community college or online course or
DeVry.
I was gonna say ICDC, but something.
Yeah, whatever happened to DeVry? I don't hear about them chicks no more.
I think it lost its accreditation.
Shocking.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I know that Hill Business College did.
Yeah, their business college did. I know that. But DeVry was a tech school, and girls they don't really do soldering irons like that. So DeVry might be up, but I think that Keller Business School lost accreditation.
Wherever they go to get their CNA license.
They get that online too.
Western Career College, at least out here.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the commercials.
Yeah, bro. I see the commercials all the time because I'm a girl on Facebook, so I stay out of jail. So every time I'm on there, all I see is these girls like, you could be a CNA in 6 hours. Just click this link. I'm like, word.
Wow, good deal.
Well, those girls, I dated some. They have a ridiculous amount of debt, and they never look at how much a X-ray technician and stuff like that makes. It's really like anywhere between $15 to $22 an hour, but they wind up with like about $60,000 to $80,000 of debt, which is more than.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta take on
you would say this is
70.
this is not a good deal.
You gotta take on 70 some odd $1,000 of debt over the course of a couple of years just to make maybe 20 something dollars an hour.
Yeah.
And even worse
I
than
mean, well, I mean, they don't have a math course here, or when they teach these girls, or else they would figure that out. But yeah, it's not good. I mean, I think a lot of the girls just want
Well,
to get
real quick, GC, I think and maybe you'll agree with me on this. Girls who have good men around, girls with husbands don't need math.
Indeed.
Well, somebody should tell these. Like, I would tell them immediately, it's not going to make sense. But even if you look more into the math, like these institutions graduate dozens, if not hundreds, of women a day, and there's just not that many hospitals. Like, there's just not that many X-ray technician jobs out there. There's just not that many phlebotomist jobs out there. Like, how many phlebotomists do a major city needs? Like, if you think of a city like size of San Francisco, they probably have maybe 50 lobotomists in the whole city, in a major city. And they're not hiring because they already have those people. So most of the women graduate with no jobs. It's not like going to Wyotech to become a mechanic. Like, there's very few jobs out there for it. So you don't even get the $15 to $22 an hour.
There's two things at play here. Two things at play. Number one, girls can't count. They just have great memory, so they can do a test. But the second thing, which is very important, is the purpose of college is not an education. The purpose of college is to network, and Black women don't like people. So white girls, they got the ring at their graduation because they went to college to find the type of man that can provide for them. Black girls go to college so she won't need no man, and then they listen to the brochure say you can get $80,000 a year if you become a clinical psychologist or some goofy shit, just for to get $15 an hour working at some high school as a counselor, right?
Agreed.
I remember.
But
Kevin,
to be fair,
I want to issue a challenge to the guys.
They don't even advertise $80,000. They advertise the job title. They say
the title is more important.
They never say a price.
Totally agree with that. Titles
These chicks are fancy job title chasing. So they can work in a hospital and say I'm something like a doctor. That is what these chicks are going after.
I want to issue a challenge really quickly though, because you just sparked a memory, dirty folks. This whole girls, white women being known as going to college, right? I have seen more than a few videos and pictures of like a graduating class of white women in whatever field, usually some medical field. And they're all a graduating class, so they got their little nursing degree, their little phlebotomist license or whatever, and they got a ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
The challenge is, where's the Black girls? I don't see. I don't see the group of graduating Black girls with the ring, and they all like, "Hey, we on to big and better things."
No, the Black girls have a baby on their lap. They graduate, they got the diploma with the 2-year-old on their lap because they go in, become a single mother. Here's the thing. Wealth is maintained. I told my boy this. He's been married 22 years, right? I said, man, if it wasn't for your wife, your bread wouldn't be right. I say because dating is expensive. Having a wife either makes you money, saves you money, or save you time. Eating at home saves you money, right? Your wife cooking saves you money. And he was like, I agree. Now, Black women trying to do everything they can to not need a man costs her poverty and costs him in coochie acquisition, right? So everything they do is detrimental to being colored, right? So the only real thing you can do if you want to be a man is avoid the colors. Like you got to eliminate any girl with a Black mom out your vocabulary in order for you to succeed. If not, you'll be in poverty, but you'll be in love. You'll be in love like a motherfucker, broke as shit.
I remember.
Well, Dirty Folks is right about the intention that they go to universities or any school for. Pretty much everything they do is to get in the vicinity of a man. And probably in the case of these trade schools, these medical assisting schools, is so that they can get close to doctors and shit like that. But the end game is not the pay. The end game is the man. I actually had a woman who was in OPD. She was one of those chicks that pretend to be a prostitute to arrest niggas and shit. She was talking to me, and she was telling me that that most of the women joined the Oakland Police Department to find a husband there. So she's one of the few that actually stays. Once they find that husband, they quit.
But
so yeah,
you're right about titles, and I always say girls love a title. My father lost his first name when he married my mother. Not everything is my husband said. His new name is husband. Every married man's name is husband, right?
Now, I remember Kevin Samuels, he talked about a program out in California, one of the colleges. It was a master's in social services or social counseling or something. It was $112,000, and the jobs pay like 52 to 55 grand a year. And women were signing up for that shit.
No, girls can't count. That's the thing. Money isn't real to girls. That's what I keep telling guys. Money isn't real to women. Women believe in stuff, right? The purse costs $5,000, but she don't need $5,000. She needs the purse. You understand what I'm saying? Girls don't believe in money. Money ain't real to women, like for real. So what men, like I got a bootlegger, like my man in the Marines, man. I tell him to go to the Philippines, send me 10 purses. He get it for like $35. Like, yo, I give all these bitches a Prada bag. I don't care. Because it's not real, just stuff. Women love titles. That's why when I went to college, I remember my major at first was business administration. I remember calling my brother, like, yo, send me some money. And he was like, what's your major? I was like, business administration. He was like, oh, you're going to be a manager at Burger King, huh? I was like, what? He's like, yo, don't go with that title shit, bro. I was like 17. Like, all right, big bro. Then I went to, I pledged, right? So actually I got recruited. So I became Alpha Phi Omega, though. I had never heard of that shit. They was like, Chicago, be an Alpha. But I wanted to be a Mason, and I became that. My Masonic and Alpha brothers have helped me more in life than my degree did. Because that's what college is for, to network.
Networking, yeah.
Black girls don't network. They get online degrees, they get community college degrees with a bunch of other niggas that got weed cases. And they don't network because they don't like people. They don't.
All right, sick with it, yo. Just became a member. Do appreciate you becoming a member, and to handle this bot problem, it'll either be subscribers only or members only. But either way, I'm sure you subscribed and you're a member, so you good. You covered either way. So we may end up doing, I don't know, we may do something to get rid of the bot problem. I was trying to figure it out. It was kind of hard to figure it out on the fly while doing the show, so it'll be taken care of for the next show. But thank you very much for becoming a member. Shout out to Primetime TV, the graduate who was there at the fiasco. So thank you for coming in and giving your perspective. He says great content. I just had to put my perspective out there. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate coming on through.
Shout out to
and yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Nate. I appreciate that footage from before. I hate it when they edit the video to come in at the.
Of course, that's what they're gonna do. They got to fit the narrative. Everything has to fit the narrative of the perpetual state of racism and white supremacy in America. Even some 65-year-old white lady with glasses just passing a mic back and forth. There's racism in the microphone.
You ever notice?
Right on. But shout out, special shout out to Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, shout out to Machismo TV, the best manosphere clips channel in the business. I think it will be. I think I saw the conversation brewing in the chat room. It'll probably be some little Big Nate rants on there coming soon. So be on be on the lookout for that one as well. Be on the lookout for that one as well. But shout out to Machismo TV. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the stream. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Do appreciate each and every one of you. The Machismo TV link should be in the chat room. Machismo, you might have to drop it in there. I don't. I'm trying to see it. I can't find it. I don't got it clicked on, ready to go. But definitely trying to get that link dropped in there so y'all can go and subscribe to Machismo TV. Subscribe to Hood Servative, who does this with me every Saturday. He just stepped out. But appreciate everybody who participate in this. These Saturday shows be classic. And I'm trying to pull up Machismo TV right now. I know about as soon as I get it, somebody else is gonna beat me to the trigger. Somebody else is gonna beat me, and it's gonna be in the chat room just right at the moment when I drop the link in there. But make sure go and subscribe to it. There you go, right there. All right. Make sure you subscribe to Machismo TV. But we got to get up out of here. Like to once again thank everybody for another great show. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Peace. We gone.